That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, we figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Koppel Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Koppel is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Koppel Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at koppelcars.com.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Hay harvest is a race against time. Order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower to harvest your hay quickly and efficiently while promoting quick dry down for quality hay. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details on a new self-propelled windrower and experience the Landmark difference.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Imagine hitting rewind on your life. 10, even 20 years. With testosterone therapy from Limitless Male, you can turn back the aging clock and get your edge, energy, and confidence back. If you've lost your drive, sleep deprived, muscle loss, belly fat, irritable, you're not the guy you once were. Get your T levels checked at Limitless Male. More and more men are realizing hormone replacement can turn back the clock. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Here we go. It's Old School on a Monday. Welcome into the show, brought to you as always by the fine folks at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Austin Norman here. To my left, it is Jay Foreman. Jay, a happy Monday to you. How are you?
Doing all right, man. Gloomy. I mean, it was like 40 degrees difference, isn't it?
It's something crazy. I mean, I would give it credit for like 30 degrees difference. I don't know the official highs and lows.
That's Nebraska for you, boy. You go from like Africa to the North Pole.
That was the Nebraska offense on Saturday, and we'll get to that. Tale of, you would say two halves, but really a tale of Nebraska wins the first 10 and the last 10, loses the middle 40, but did enough early and late to win it. 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of the show. It's time now for a Cash Blitz keyword, though. Get ready to text a word to 508-777-1000. Mentioned this on the drive when I was on with Nick before. I'll say it again. If you text us the Cash Blitz keyword, it does you no good. No good. We don't need to know what the word is. We have it in front of us. Do not text us. Text 508-777-1000 with the Cash Blitz keyword. One of Jay Foreman's favorite words, cash, is the word. C-A-S-H, cash. Text cash to 508-777-1000 for your chance to win $1,000. We're doing this every day that we have a show here, 8, 10, 1, and 3 p.m. Your chance to win $1,000 4 times a day. All right, Jay, down to business. Nebraska football, 38-27 winners over Michigan State. Huskers move to 4-1 overall, 1-1 in Big Ten Conference play. Here's the big question for me. Did Nebraska play any better against Michigan State than they did against Michigan?
In some areas, for sure.
Where are those areas?
Well, in particular, I feel like obviously the defense, I mean, the whole defense in general, I felt like played a lot better, or played better, and definitely played better and more consistently, so longer than against Michigan. I felt like the tackling was better. I felt like, for the most part, their pad level was better. I felt they made more plays. Now, obviously, I think Michigan's offensive line is a little bit better, but at the end of the day, you only can play who you can play against, and it wasn't like Akron and Houston Christian. So they were definitely a formidable opponent, and they played better. There's nothing wrong with saying they played better or they played good.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, you can move the goal line. There's no doubt that Michigan State's not Ohio State, but Nebraska's not playing Ohio State, and that's not sticking your head in the sand and like blindly not, I guess, evaluating the team, but they played better. They played with better energy. I can tell you the best play for me that I saw from them everybody's going to say the splash plays. Obviously, I said it after the game. I said it on Inside the Huddle on Sunday or yesterday morning, excuse me. I'll say it again. Obviously, Javen Wright played. I think he played his best game that he's played at Nebraska. And I'm sure they probably know more or whatever. But in my opinion, I felt like he played the most complete and best game that he's played. But I think the best play that I saw from Nebraska was a negative, but it was a super positive. Michigan State was going from the north end to the south. I think they scored, or maybe they didn't. I know they were kind of backed up. They were in almost backed up zone. They threw, about 5 or 6 yard pass, and I think the first guy that missed was Shavers. But then immediately after that, you was like, this guy could get the first down. Just because you make somebody miss clean that way, that you're definitely up the hash and getting the first down. And it might have been like second or third and 10 plus. And matter of fact, I know it was. Within 2 yards, 4 guys hit him. That lets me know guys were getting to the ball. That lets me know guys were closer in proximity. So that means everything was tighter. And then they were playing better team defense. And that play, and this is what I guess I know this because I'm not a big I played so you don't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying I know this from experience. That play you can take anywhere, anytime, any place, and it works. So what I mean is this: so if you're playing Michigan 2 weeks ago, which I'd probably say that's the big difference, right? Or one of the big differences, right? So that means your tackling looks better because look, you missed a tackle. We didn't even talk about it. You can take that on the road to Ohio State. That works. You can take it to Penn State, Alabama, or whatever. That type of effort, but then also it lets me know the communication was there because everybody's in close proximity. That means you're able to clamp in and the concepts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you can obviously work on the beginning, right? But how many times have we had the beginning? You miss one tackle, nobody else is there. Well, then that lets me know, or at least I'm going to assume, the pre-snap communication is good. The end-game communication and applying whatever the defense and the concept is there. And more importantly, the effort is there.
It looked like it waned a little bit in the middle part of the game for Nebraska. Jay, 14 early points for the Huskers. Things going really well. Nebraska gets the ball second. Michigan State takes the ball. Huskers become the first team to hold Michigan State off the scoreboard on the Spartans' first possession of a game in 2025. Force a punt. And something I was tracking was how often would Nebraska be able to make Michigan State punt really before the Michigan State 40 was the target line that I had in mind because their punter was such a weapon. Nebraska gets off the field early. They march down and score. Then they don't touch the ball for a while. Of course, then you get the blocked punt, which there's the splash play on special teams. Second block punt of the year for the Huskers. This one goes back for a touchdown. But then, Jay, what happened? After Nebraska got up 14-0, and Michigan State rattles off 21 unanswered points, what went wrong for Nebraska? From your vantage point, why were those middle, at least 30 minutes, if not, 40 minutes of the game so stop and start for Nebraska, especially offensively, but even defensively when they allowed 21 straight unanswered points from Michigan State?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, you got to understand one thing like Michigan has athletes.
They do.
Okay. Michigan State, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
They are at the Power 4 level. All right. I mean, I think sometimes people just think you're just going to show up and roll people. All right. I'm going to give you another news flash. Everybody that usually calls in says the 90s are done. Well, then stop acting like this is the 90s. This is the new 2025 Nebraska where they're learning how to win. It's parity across college football. They have guys and they have coaches that want to win and they're coached right now. So that's where you start, right? Now, what happened was, there's always like these little plays that kind of gives them a little bit of life. You want to make those plays so they have no life, but you know that they're going to make plays because they're at desperation mode. You got to think their backs are against the wall. So that energy, and maybe they woke up. They looked like they were sleepwalking initially coming out, the quarterback included. I think he was compromised before I think he got hurt last game. He just looks totally different, from when I watched. But
he has still made some interesting plays.
But everything was off. And and that's all we did that, but also he was off. But I think okay, so you go down. Nebraska, you look like garbage the first series, Michigan State.
First 3 series, really.
Yeah, but just in particular that one, Nebraska comes and just commences to just do whatever they want, and then you get the ball again, and then you get a punt block. All right, then you're like, all right, we're in survival mode, so you're waiting for a break. So the big break for Michigan State came on a scramble by Aiden Childs. And I think he got out and got the first down, and then immediately I think Frazier hit a big, not a big run, but a decent sized run. It was on the left side.
To me, that's the one where Childs got out of like 2 or 3 different sacks and then threw it back across the field to Frazier for 12 yards.
That's exactly it. Then they get a run. Then they had a run right after that.
Yeah.
Right. There it is. That's what happened. Right. It's almost like, okay, let's go back to when we were playing against Michigan. They had Dillon. He escaped 3 dudes. And he threw it to Lindenmeyer.
Yeah.
Those are momentum-changing plays that nobody talks about. And that's where they kind of got started. And then they were able to kind of get it close. And then Nebraska kind of sputtered. But then they had a chance there, I think, when they had the big return. Remember, because he outkicks the punter, which I don't know if they have. We have to look if he have a special teams coordinator. Bro, I guarantee you his porcelain throne is hot. You get what I'm saying? Hey, they might be the specialty. I said this on Inside the Huddle. Nebraska was able to play the 2023 version of the Huskers or 2022 version of the Huskers.
They have co-special teams coordinators, but the one of them is the running backs coach, and one of them is the rush ends coach.
Yeah, they what I say about the co-coordinators with PJ
dangerous game to play.
Dangerous game to play, and obviously it didn't work. So he outkicked his coverage. We get a big return, and then we went 3 straight pass plays. That's where it changed, right? You couple the 2 plays that I talked about, which is it's kind of, if you want an analogy in basketball, it's a deep 3 at the end of the shot clock, and you foul on 4-point play when you have that.
You play 22 seconds of great defense.
Great defense, but you're up by like 9. I always say it's either 8 to 10 points or anywhere. You know what I mean? And then one possession, you stop them, you score again, the people going to start leaving. Well, then now you hit the 4-point play, you go from being up 9 to 5. Now you in a dogfight.
Yeah,
you gave them a little life, and then the 3 plays, or when you went from, it was end up punting, I think, or whatever.
Well, because you get it on Michigan State's 26,
and then you went back
3 straight negative plays.
Right.
Yeah.
So then that's where they started to get some momentum, and it wasn't anything Michigan State did. It's just the Nebraska kind of got. Just I wouldn't say lulled to sleep. Just Michigan State got some more energy, got some plays, and then it was just like you don't expect to miss essentially a delayed blitz, right? That has nothing to do with you. That's a mistake. You gotta fan out. I'm sure it's either the running back or tackle got to get that. Then one other play you get beat, and then the other one they had good coverage, right? And they really and what they did is they overloaded ours, like the zone wherever they thought the ball was going to go, and so they would have more bodies there. Even if you catch it, you can't get much out after the run, and so that gave them some momentum. And then you kind of started to press a little bit. But I said this, I think last week, during our shows and multiple times, and we should have probably did Whiteboard Wednesday on their defense. When you've been getting lit up. Remember one of the things I said, I think maybe Friday, do not show up to this game expecting what everybody else has done.
Right.
Based on, I think they were giving up 280 some yards passing plus and some sort of crazy quarterback. It was like astronomical numbers.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go into a bye week, right? As a defensive coordinator. And Rossi is a well-respected defensive coordinator.
Been around the Big Ten for a while.
Been around the Big Ten, has a lot of pride in himself, has done really, quietly has been one of the better defensive coordinators, definitely in the Big Ten. It done a lot more with less as far as the tools he had at Minnesota, so forth and so on. So now he has a long flight back from USC, probably watched the game 2 times. And then he has 10 days to fix not only his pass defense, and maybe it's the, getting them, kind of to know the why more, and then look at Nebraska's concept. So you're going to get the best version of them on the back end, right? Then they feel like all we need to do is survive against the run, where Nebraska was able to get some hay and they're more really efficient in the run game. That's part of it as well, that they were able to really, dictate the pace on the back end. And the Nebraska had chances at a couple big plays. The first play in the second half is the same one that Hunter scored later in the game. It was one. This is where people don't ever talk. I always talk about this. The reason why that play in the second half, or the one that scored, worked is because somebody upstairs. So I don't know if Dana's down on the field or not.
Yes.
Somebody had to say, listen, that play right there, let's put that in our back pocket. It was one shoestring tackle away, the first play of the second half, going house call, which then changes the whole game.
Right.
Because I think Michigan State got off the field then. Right. So they had an 8-9 yard pass play, maybe got the first down, got the ball back, versus first play, house call, they're ready to pack up and go. And so that's just kind of where they're at right now. When I talk about, everybody says that middle 8, I call it the middle 12. That's where they are at. It was a little bit of Michigan State waking up a little bit, circumstantial, where you kind of punch yourself in the face, and then also they made a couple, touchdown saving tackles.
You look at Michigan State getting that spark on the Childs to Frazier play on the third series for them offensively.
Right.
It seemed like Nebraska had a couple chances for that with the interceptions. Set up in mega positive field position, and they couldn't capitalize on either one. If you get 3 points even off of one of those interceptions at the end of the half, that goes a long way. But Nebraska was out of rhythm, really, Jay. I mean, because they had one possession in the first quarter, despite scoring 14 points.
Yeah,
one series in the first quarter for the Nebraska offense, which is a reason and also an excuse, right? I mean, with the guys that Nebraska has on the roster, that's the kind of lull in the middle of the game that happens to every team, at some point in the year, at some point in a game. But I thought Nebraska was over that for the most part. But the disaster series and then not capitalizing on the 2 interceptions, man, even if you just go 1 for 3 with any sort of points at all, you feel better. But you struck out on 3 huge possessions that could have had you up by 2 possessions going into halftime. And I get it. Those things happen. But whether it was play calling, whether it's execution, or some combination thereof, Michigan State took advantage of its spark on that one possession. Nebraska clicked the lighter 3 times and got nothing until late in the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, that's this part of number one, it's Michigan State tightened up. Okay, they tightened up. So, I mean, you got to give them credit for that. And then number 2, that's just part of what you're learning, learning how to be a champion, and that's the struggle that everybody's going through in the whole, college football. And that's just part of, like I always say, this is going to be the season is a book with 12 separate chapters. You want to have some consistency and flow over, and you want as the book goes on, which is the season, you want it to get better and better and juicier, and this is where you're at right now, and this is where we're at. I mean, whether you want to call it a choppy, I don't necessarily want. I think this is more of a choppy win, right, versus an ugly win.
It was so stop and start, took 3.5 hours.
Right, you couldn't get in a rhythm, and sometimes you see this, and I keep saying this, and Michigan State came in at 3-1, but I think Nebraska was, biasly or whatever, significantly better. You see this in basketball sometimes. When one team is better than the other, or kind of more tightened up, the other team is kind of like helter-skelter, where it kind of gets choppy like that, where one team can't get in the rhythm, and maybe the way Michigan State plays doesn't allow you to it. And then in the way that they were able to make some plays and get some life, and then they started to kind of heat up a little bit and get some pressure and kind of felt in a rhythm. But they're competitive. They got good players. I mean, they got some dudes over there that Jordan Hall is for real.
Yeah.
Okay. He's going to get paid on Sunday sooner or later. The receiver, I know he didn't get a lot of chances, is for real on their team.
Marshall and Kelly are both good.
Both of them. I like the tight end. I don't like this version of the quarterback they have. I think their offensive line is okay, better than most, or, better than average. Okay.
But down to starting left tackle.
Their defense is active, and their 2 linebackers cover up a lot of the eyesores of their defense. So it wasn't like you're playing Akron I think sometimes people jump to this, right? Like you were just supposed to beat them like you did Akron and Houston Christian.
But you get off to a 14-0 start. That gets in people's head as well. Oh, it's going to be easy. Oh, we're going to coast. Oh, we're going to cruise. I don't think Nebraska felt that. I think a lot of fans in their reaction did. But Jay, I think that's where I want to go next, is because you said it. It's not the 90s. Stop expecting the 90s.
Right.
That's part of the climb for Nebraska, is can they get back to playing at that level once, let alone consistently. Matt Rule said in his presser today, and we'll hear more from him coming up at 4, that he thinks there are 3 stages to building a program. Number 1, eliminate losing football. Number 2, start playing winning football. And then step 3 is to start playing championship football.
Yeah.
Nebraska right now is in between steps 1 and 2. Most of the losing football has been eliminated for the most part.
Yeah.
I will say the penalties were really poorly timed for Nebraska.
Yeah.
It was the first game all year where I felt like, Nebraska's penalties really held it back. They hadn't been an issue all year. But for the most part, Nebraska has gotten rid of most of the losing football. That's elevating the floor, is what that is. Playing winning football and doing it on a consistent basis is starting to raise the ceiling, creep that up a little bit more.
Which is why they're dealing with fans' expectations as the standard is starting to. You're just the standard is starting to go higher.
Starting to.
Yeah, or it is higher, but you're starting to kind of now you got to start meeting it every day.
Meet it every day.
Yeah.
The consistency part. I said this on the drive, and I think it bears repeating. Jay, this is the type of win that elevates Nebraska from a 6-6 program last year to potentially an 8-4 program this year. Because what's the difference between an 8-4 record and a 6-6 record? If you look at that, it's a game.
Yeah.
Essentially, you win one and you lose one, you're at 7-5.
Yeah.
But you found a way to win this game, however choppy it might have been. No, it wasn't pretty. Yes, there's plenty of stuff Nebraska can clean up, but no, it's not the 90s. It wasn't perfect. They need to get better to continue to take that next step.
Yeah.
But they found a way to win.
Yeah. Look, the most important thing, what people need to understand is that W. That's the best stat out there. So if you want to get up there and look at quarterback stats, running back stats, and all that, sure, there is, and you can look at it, and obviously you want to see improvement. And there's not a coach out there that's satisfied with his team right now. I'm sorry to tell you. Even the number 1 team in the nation, they're not satisfied with what they're at. They still have a lot of work in progress at, and even down to where we're at, So you want to learn, you want to win, and you want to play enough to win. Now, the one thing that's different, which I'll give them credit for, is number 1, they're more talented than probably year 1 and year 2 at some crucial areas. I think Dylan this year versus Dylan last year, he's better. Still needs to improve, and that's fine. He knows that, and I'm sure he's working at it, probably right now to do so. And that's what you should do. You should be. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is still trying to improve. So
right.
Everybody needs to improve. So that allows you to win a game like that because you got Hunter, and if you want to just compare Hunter to Nair last year, do you think Nair takes that to the crib?
No.
Okay.
I didn't.
So then we're better there. But then also I think there's a little bit more want to. Now we got to get that even higher. But the ability to kind of grind through, whether you call it a choppy, ugly game, takes you, like you said, from out of that 6-6 realm, right? And I feel like this is about, and we'll go to a break. I feel like being 6-6 is the hardest place to be.
Oh yeah.
And I'll say 6-6 and 7-5, depending on what conference you're in. Here's why.
Depending on the 7 and the 5.
Yeah, that too, aesthetically. But it's okay. Say you're 7-5 in the Big 12. That's equivalent like 6-6 here, right? Or just whatever. We don't need to. Yeah. We don't need to, kind of minimize anybody else. 6-6, 7-5 is the hardest place to be. Even 5-7. Those 3 win and loss records, because you're so close, but yet so far, and to get where yet so far is takes a tremendous amount of sacrifice, and you might only get 2 more games winning.
Right.
But here's what happens when you get out of that realm, and especially when you go from 6-6/7-5 to the 8-4, 9-3. It protects your roster more than you think. Because what people do when they see you at 5-7, 6-6, 7-5, they feel like you have good enough players that you're almost there. So we're going to go try to get those players to get us to where we're at, or stay where we're at, and then take us from, right, other schools, right, what we're talking about is like they're 8-4/9-3. They figure you can get a couple of those players to play roles or be consistent starters to go to
double-digit wins and
right.
beyond. Yeah.
Here's an example of that. Purdue. They were even worse than that last year.
Whew.
Okay. Their starting tight end is at Ohio State. Their starting safety is at Oregon.
Making game-sealing interceptions on the road against Penn State.
Exactly. So that's where this is just my opinion. I feel like when you can get past that threshold, it becomes a lot easier to keep your roster. Why? Is because why would I leave Nebraska if everything's within, let's just say, 15 to 20% what you're getting offered? Now, somebody's asking you 2.5 times. I'm sure there's like, all right, dude,
get out of here,
right? Yeah. Go get it, and then we'll see you back.
Right.
The 15 to 20% is not worth it because you're on the come up, and everything that you've been working towards is right there on your grasp. That's where I think the win is just as important as all the other stuff you talked about.
And neither one of us are telling fans not to want or hope for more out of Nebraska, but be realistic with it, right? I mean, Matt Rule is kind of slow playing this, right? I don't think Nebraska is behind schedule necessarily. I just don't think they're ahead of schedule either.
You're right where you're at. You're supposed to be.
That's okay. Be where your feet are.
And your schedule, look, this schedule is gettable. Again, this is a hard year because it's independent chapters, but you have to mature. You can't. It's easy schedule. It's a gettable schedule. It's a competitive schedule, all mixed in one. But you have no time to rest because you don't have Jeremiah Smith. You don't have these guys out here where Colorado's learning that the X factors. Travis Hunter. Hey man, he just got different DNA.
He's going to win you a game on his own.
Yeah, you can't do nothing about it.
No,
one time I got caught against Randy Moss in cover 2. It just kept on running. That's cool. Now, granted, they didn't throw it to him, but I wasn't going to stop him anyway. So so
you did stop him because they didn't throw to him.
Yeah, but they hit somebody else. Chris Carter did his thing.
Well, that's a gold star for Jay Ford.
Yeah. I had good coverage. I talked a little junk to him, but I think that's where they're at. I mean, they got a lot of things that they need to clean up, and that's fine. And that's part of coaching. That's part of playing. That's part of being in the league. That's the best. Until you get there, that's just the deal. But I hope people like the deal now, like winning versus
man,
we lost to Troy. When we lost to Troy, right?
Or Northern Illinois.
Or somebody like that.
Or
you know what
down
I'm saying?
the list. Yeah.
So they just got to keep working. If I'm a player, I look at it like instead of being, I don't know if they are, but I'm saying I wouldn't be in my feelings. I'm like, all right, I like it. Like let's go. Because if you get to where you want, and if you think that this is pressure right now,
oh, just wait.
Yo, you play for a national championship or like Big 12 championship, you ain't sleeping. You waking up in the middle of the night thinking about George Darlington and what he's going to come up with tomorrow on cover 9. And what route. I'm serious. Then you go back to bed. Then you wake up worry about cover 8. And then man to man. I'm dead serious.
And then here comes cover 11. And why not throw out cover 12?
Right.
Just for kicks.
Right. And then you think about nickel. Then you think about, okay, I got to go against, we were about to play, Kosi Coleman that played 10 years in the league. I got to go against him. So this is just part. This is easy. I'm just playing. Anyways.
Let's go to break. We got your text to get to when we get back. Some more thoughts on Nebraska football's 38-27 win over Maryland. No Brian Munson today. He's on the road traveling back from Buffalo. He was at Highmark Stadium for last night's game. So
bad luck. Say that you don't be coming over there, man. You must be a Patriot fan. That's what it is.
Now Munson's a Bills guy. We're going to talk to him about it tomorrow. But anyways, more Nebraska football conversation. He's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Norman. This is Old School. Back after this.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Imagine hitting rewind on your life 10, even 20 years. With testosterone therapy from Limitless Male, you can turn back the aging clock and get your edge, energy, and confidence back. If you've lost your drive, sleep deprived, muscle loss, belly fat, irritable, you're not the guy you once were. Get your T levels checked at Limitless Male. More and more men are realizing hormone replacement can turn back the clock. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Mo's Moving is now Mo's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Is your heating system ready for cooler weather? Call Bryant to schedule your fall heating check. No matter what brand, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Join LES at 6 p.m. Thursday, October 9th at the LES Operations Center to learn about the utilities' proposed 2026 budget and electric rates and share your input at the annual public meeting. Learn more at les.com.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O. Sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Copple Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Copple is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Copple Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at copplecars.com.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you on Old School, brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Plenty more to get to, including from our Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line. Jay, before we get to the Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line, you mentioned Javen Wright, another guy that I thought stood out that Matt Rule was asked about a couple times today. We'll get to him too. I was just say Williams Newani.
Yep, well,
he was all over the place. Yeah. I thought he balled out. Javen Wright balled out. And then Deshaun Singleton obviously had a career day, came into the game with 1 interception on his career, doubled it up with 2 just really bad throws from Aiden Childs, but he was in the right place at the right time. He did his best to give Nebraska a spark. Not his fault the offense couldn't capitalize on it. But you had a difference maker at all 3 levels for the Nebraska defense. I thought played one of the better games of their careers.
Some other guys that
Nebraska.
play well. I mean, Cam Lenhart did his thing. I mean, he's out there playing with I've played with like a broken thumb and stuff like that. So the fact that he's being effective out there, I think Judy made a couple plays. He got a sack, so that was good. And he had been, on the upswing, for the last couple of weeks, and you definitely need him to continue to play better. I think Shavers is starting to play more consistent, which is great. And then you got Singleton and all those guys. So I think the depth is there. Guthrie was there. He needs to probably, he's got to continue to grow. He's learning. I mean, this dude was just in high school last year. So defensively, I felt like this was their best game against their, good competition. And you had some of the guys.
Cincinnati, they allowed 17 points too. And since he's on a roll.
Sure. Yeah. But I don't think the Cincinnati that we face isn't the one that's playing now.
Sure. But you still make life tough on him.
But I felt like the depth and the playmaking was better this game.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's just what I think. I feel like the depth of your defensive roster was more on display this game.
Yeah.
I feel like the defense it still needs some improvement, obviously. I mean, that's fine. But I felt like they were more consistent there. They made bigger plays, right? You talk about the tackles for loss, the sacks, the turnovers. That's why I think this is a better performance than against Cincinnati. But that's it. We're arguing about that 10 or 4 weeks from now. Then we're good. Then we're arguing about whether we played better against Penn State and I don't know who else, or USC. And then after a win, that's fine. So it's good to see all those guys play. It's good to see those guys. I mean, because look, everybody's had their own story, and to answer the bell, and they probably known that they could have played a little bit better against Michigan. And look, if you can recognize it and then rectify it the next game, hey man, I'm definitely gonna tip the cap to you.
Let's get to our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line here. 8796 says, the thing that disappointed me most was the 4-yard quarterback sneak that went for a touchdown. Aiden Childs essentially untouched. Michigan State, Jay, 4 for 4 in the red zone. They've been really good in the red zone all year, scoring like 91% of the time and like 75% of the time that's been a touchdown. Nebraska was in a tough spot. Would have liked to seen a little bit more resistance. But if you take just the rushing defense overall, 38 carries for 84 yards is all Nebraska allows. If you factor sacks out of it, it goes up to 126 yards, but only at 3.7 yards per carry. I mean, Frazier, 18 for 58, long of 15. Childs, 13 for 23 with a long of 16, again, factoring in some of the sacks. No, it wasn't perfect, but we knew Nebraska's lines were going to have some issues coming into the year. Again, you get out of a game allowing either 84, yards, or if you look at it the other way of 3.7 adjusted for sacks, still a pretty solid performance against the run.
Yeah, it's a good day. This is where like I said, this needs to be the ceiling of the floor. You want that to be your worst game, and so I think it's improvement. And so now you got to move onward and upward. And I think the attention to detail was better. That's why you had the tighter gaps for these guys. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what it comes down to. You know your why, attention to detail, you're lining up right, you're aggressive, you're playing more free, you look a lot better. You miss a tackle, which everybody does, and then everybody's there to rally and nobody notices. Because as soon as he turns, he's getting hit. And I want to say this, and I know they didn't do this on purpose, though. But anytime that you can pile drive that quarterback's face into the turf, okay,
you take that chance.
You wouldn't do it, and it's also let me know Aiden Childs' hands, he don't have no calluses on his hands. The fact that he didn't know how to fall and he just went literally head first into the turf, that's what you get. But I like it because it affected the game. Now, granted, the backup quarterback came in and did work, but it's their fault. They brought him back, and then he decided to make Deshaun Singleton his best friend, and it worked out for us. But it all was a byproduct of getting to the quarterback. How do you get to the quarterback? You know what you're doing. You listen to the game plan. You understand why they're calling certain blitzes. You see it they had to see something on tape. They schemed it up. You executed it, and it was second nature. That's the step that they made. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you saw more plays, and they were able to take advantage, especially defensively against some of the weaknesses on their offense.
Nebraska 4 sacks for 42 yards on the day, 12 combined tackles for loss for a total of 60 yards for the Huskers. Meal Ticket wants to throw this out there, Jay. What did you think about the Michigan State backup quarterback? Do you think it would have been even more of a dogfight if Michigan State had rolled with him? I thought he was the way more accurate passer.
I mean, look, man. There's nobody more popular on the team than the backup quarterback, and and that's the way it is. But I think he handled himself pretty good. I will say this: he's a freshman, true freshman. He came in Alicio. I like that name though. I would probably just mess with him all the time. But he was the Illinois Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he can play. And he handled. I knew you could tell right away they liked him, or that they felt comfortable with him. And this lets me know that he practiced more than normal, the backup quarterback, because right away they went no backs, shotgun. Now they do have two reasons. Number one, they believe in you that you can handle that type of scheme and that pressure, considering your quarterback just got knocked out. So they know that Nebraska
on a sack, they back you up 10 yards.
So they know that Nebraska's coming. Number two, it allows the reads to be a little bit easier because you can see if they're in zone or man.
Mm-hmm.
But then he threw it right on target, and then he was able to, have a couple good drives, later in the game, and then obviously score a touchdown prior to that. I mean, for me, if I was the head coach, the way that Aiden Childs I don't know if he got like a head injury, but that's a hard hit. I would have probably, especially after the Alicio scored,
mm-hmm.
I would have kept him in for the rest of the half. That's what I would have done. Why? Is because the homeboy was not right.
He at least got his bell rung, if not his clock cleaned. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, he got his bell rung. He didn't get his clock cleaned. Yeah, I think he got his clock cleaned, and he got put back in there, and it worked out for Nebraska. But I don't think that would have made him beat us. But
I think part of the rationale though is that the line isn't great for Aiden Childs. He didn't have his best game. More of a running threat. We know that's given Nebraska some fits. And he still scrambled around and made some plays. He still directed a couple scoring drives and was in control. So really, I think what it comes down to as well, Jay, is, what's better, a 75% effective Aiden Childs or 100% backup, right? Because you don't want to go back and forth and mess with either guy's timing. It's a gutsy call to make whenever you switch quarterbacks. Someone on the text line.
I wouldn't have switched. I would have brought Aiden Childs back at halftime. Yeah, I thought it was way too quick.
That's fair. But someone was asking about Nebraska. Well, if Dylan's getting sacked this much, shouldn't we get a look at TJ Lateef? Every player on the roster has to be a weapon and ready when their number's called.
Right.
But there's a lot more that goes into the rationale behind making a switch at quarterback. Again, if it's one thing, your guy goes out at the end of the half, for the rest of the half, like you're suggesting Michigan State should have done. That's one thing. You have, he got hit. We're going to give him a chance to catch his breath. Give him some smelling salts in the locker room, but we left him on the sideline just to give Nebraska some questions, right? Is he coming back in? Is he not? It's different in Nebraska's case. If you're calling for TJ Lateef to take over for Dylan Raiola for a series or two, if it's not performance-based, quarterback isn't a position where you just give a guy a look. In the heat of a Big Ten battle, right? You can do that at receiver. You can do that at running back, but there's a whole lot more that goes into making that switch at quarterback beyond just, he's on the team.
Listen, everybody, just listen. All right. Listen closely. I know you guys don't listen much. You hear,
but do it now, if nothing else.
Do it now, if nothing else. Pull over. If you're not in with all these construction areas, pull over to a nice, safe place and turn up your radio. Dylan is not going nowhere. He's the starting quarterback. Period. Point blank. Stop trying to go. Sure, can he play better? Sure. I'm sure Dylan said it after the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't listen to any of that stuff, right? So, yeah, sure, everybody can play better. When the offense isn't performing, it's not the court, it's everybody. So, but he's not going anywhere. So stop sitting up here thinking we need a mobile quarterback because, and that's not taking anything away from TJ Lateef. I like TJ Lateef.
Oh, yeah.
Dylan's the quarterback. Everybody needs to play better. And all 11 people need to play, but they just need to execute better. And there's nothing wrong with that. Stop sitting up here calling for a quarterback based on what somebody else is do. Be happy with what you got and then expect it better. And then they got to expect better. And then everybody plays better.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Is there stuff to get better at?
Always.
Always.
Chasing the ghost.
always. And that goes for everybody. You can't. That's why they say, don't listen to all that stuff. You gotta have thick skin. You can't be sensitive. Nobody cares. At the end of the day, it's part of it is just growing and maturing, and us as a fan base growing and maturing. I think Childs did provide a little bit of escapability, but I think the one thing that really a glaring weakness with him, all right, he played like he's from California.
Like you said, no calluses on the hands.
He plays soft. He's the type of dude that just from the outside looking in and watching him from afar in close proximity in Las Vegas, the Devil's Lair, okay, right, is that he seems like the dude when he's in the huddle in a 90-degree day, you can smell he has Axe body spray on. He too pretty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you too pretty, dude, and you play too pretty, and you got in a grimy game
with a grimy head coach and Jonathan Smith,
right? And you didn't get you don't get grimy. You know what I'm saying? That's where he really, when you just watch him, that's where he really failed at, because some of those plays, like it was like you skipping rocks to wide open receivers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last thing before we go to break, Eric, we'll give you your moment in the sun here. He says, come on, Jay, you can't do that to quarterbacks anymore. You have to gently lay them down on a bed of pillows. But then also, no, Dylan needs benched, Jay, I say with heavy sarcasm, though I do think he needs to understand that he needs to make quicker decisions. Again, let's stop playing armchair quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, we can all say, yeah, we want Dylan to make 100% right decisions. Number one, that's not going to happen. Number two, until you watch the All-22 or you get the GoPro that they wear during practice and you see exactly where Dylan's looking, we can judge the result. It's hard for us to judge the process.
Yeah.
And so we hope that Matt Rule and Dylan Raiola and Dana Holgerson are being upfront with us about what the process is. There are sometimes that, yes, we can see it after the fact. Dylan Raiola does need to make a different decision.
Yeah.
But again, he's been pretty good about being accountable. Yeah, I missed that one.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not to say Dylan's perfect or Dylan needs protecting, from the narrative or anything like that. But it also strikes me, Jay, as a situation where it's one thing to know that you have to make quicker decisions or, man, I got to get there faster. But sometimes that's just a light bulb moment, whether it's more film, whether it's more reps or, guy getting open a step sooner. It's one thing to know in your head that the right thing to do is make a quicker decision.
Right.
But you can't make a quicker decision until you've already made the quick decision.
Yeah.
And that just strikes me as when will the light bulb fully come on to max brightness sort of question.
Yeah, that's just part of the process and all that, and it's hard to evaluate quarterbacks just because you don't know what's going on. You have an idea, and really it's not worth it just because of, if I'm thinking something, I could be thinking something totally different than reality what it is. I've been on the other side of that where where people just look at the box score and I know I played well, and then they were like, well, you need to be more productive. There's a lot of things that go into it. You know what I mean? And, the quarterback gets all the credit and gets all the blame, but the success of both the credit and the blame is everybody.
All the time.
All the time. So
That's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Norman. This is Old School. A couple more things from the text line. Also giving away $50 to Grotto Bar and Lounge. Got a trivia question for you to answer when we get back from break.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now, through October 12th, enjoy 6-ounce USDA choice bacon wrap filet mignon for $9.99 each. 10-pound tubes of 85% lean ground beef, $4.99 per pound. All-natural, thick-cut, bone-in pork chops, $1.99 per pound. And Miller Lite or Coors Light, 24 packs, $17.99 each when you buy two. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Is your heating system ready for cooler weather? Call Bryant to schedule your fall heating check. No matter what brand, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Imagine hitting rewind on your life 10, even 20 years. With testosterone therapy from Limitless Male, you can turn back the aging clock and get your edge, energy, and confidence back. If you've lost your drive, sleep deprived, muscle loss, belly fat, irritable, you're not the guy you once were. Get your T levels checked at Limitless Male. More and more men are realizing hormone replacement can turn back the clock. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back wrapping up hour 1 of Old School. I'm Austin Norman. He is Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NFL vet Jay Foreman. And everyone's favorite question is what's for dinner? The easy answer, of course, is Grotto Bar and Lounge, located in the Clock Tower Shopping Center at 70th and A. Grotto Bar and Lounge features a full menu of delicious options and also have daily specials and incredible drink options as well. Visit Grotto Bar and Lounge today at 70th and A. Jay, you brought him up. We were going to talk about him a little bit. Deshaun Singleton was named Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week. And so for the text line, 402-464-5685, texter number, we'll do number 8 in honor of Deshaun Singleton. Texter number 8 with the right answer to this question will win $50 to Grotto. Before Deshaun Singleton, who was the last Husker football player to win Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week? Before Deshaun Singleton, who was the last Husker football player to win Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week? 402-464-5685. Texter number 8 will get the $50 to Grotto Bar and Lounge. All right, Jay, we only have a couple minutes here. We don't need to dive fully in-depth into the story, but it bears mentioning. Mark Sanchez, what in the HELL double hockey sticks?
Hey, man.
What in the world?
Yeah. Mark, that's a bad. Listen, I think well, I know he's from California.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he lives out there. So you fly all the way across the country
Naptown, baby.
To Indianapolis, because that lets you know you left Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Get blitzed.
Start running wind sprints in the back alley.
Yeah, come across a dude mad because he's trying to do Uber Eats, deliver some food. Probably upset that he's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Jump in his car, commence to try to mace him. Then first
get maced yourself.
Get maced yourself. I don't know if he maced him or whatever. Then he went after a 69-year-old man, got two-piece and stabbed and charged with like a felony.
Four different charges, 3 misdemeanors
charges.
and a felony.
While you in the hospital, eating hospital food.
If you're able to eat it all, given that you just got, stabbed.
Imagine that call to emergency contact. What happened? Who did this to you?
Hey, honey, it's me.
Grandpa Joe. Ran up on somebody. Listen, man, you can't run up on folks like that anymore, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I hope he ends up being okay. I think he is, and then I hope the old buddy's okay. They come to some sort of compromise, but
come on, man.
Hey, man, you get that alcohol in your system. You start talking crazy to people. You just cannot do that anymore.
No, whether it's a 39-year-old man or a 69-year-old man.
Man, listen. He was just. You talk about Nebraska going from level 1 to level 2, and you're kind of getting there, right?
Mm-hmm.
To the next level. He was just out of the gray with the butt fumble. Nobody. I'm serious, because he does a decent job, right?
Yeah.
Like doing the games. So that's what he's known for now, right? You don't see the butt fumble that much anymore. You're just on the anniversary. That's it,
right?
And he's joking about. You just got out of that kind of deal. Now you right back where you started.
Dang. All that hard work.
You're like Oscar De La Hoya when he was wearing the garter belts. You right back. You did.
Right back there.
Yeah, you right back there. Yeah.
The answer, 59-64, is the winner. JoJo Domann, back in 2021, the previous winner. I wonder if that was for his game with the picks against Ohio State.
You had a pick and they had a bunch of tackles for
Yeah. So, Deshaun Singleton, first player in 4 seasons to be Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week. We will go to break, talk more Nebraska football against Michigan State, hear from Matt Rule, and bring you through the weekend that was in college football and the NFL. That's all ahead on Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins.
Hi, I'm Sarai, your personal banker here at Midwest Bank. I'm proud to serve our community in English and in Espanol because everyone deserves a banker who understands them. This Hispanic Heritage Month, we're celebrating the traditions, values, and dreams that make our community strong. Whether you're opening your first account, planning for the future, or growing your business, estoy aquí para ayudarle a alcanzar sus metas. I'm here to help you reach your goals. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
This This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Are you ready to transform your body and your life in just 10 weeks? At Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, our kickboxing challenge combines heart-pumping cardio, strength training, and proven nutrition coaching to deliver real results. Lose fat, gain strength, and feel more confident than ever. Spots are limited. Don't wait. Join the next Farrell's 10-week challenge starting October 11th and take the first swing towards a healthier, stronger you. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, results, not excuses. Join today, fxblincoln.com. That's fxblincoln.com.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches, too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinnie Krekak of State Farm Insurance. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Here we are, hour 2 of Old School. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you. Jay, who sponsors Old School?
The Mercado Certified Piedmontese Special Ingredients Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andromat, 168th and Maple up there in the O.
Indeed.
It's a perfect day today. You know what this is the perfect day today is? You need to go to the Mercado. I'm going to give you a little thing right here. Give you just a little ism on how to get through some of these cold days, because when you're from the MPLS area, you know how to get down like Charlie Brown. Go and get you some pork chops. straight from the butcher shop. Thick ones too.
Point them out.
Get you a Dutch
They'll
oven.
slice them for you.
Get you a little Dutch oven, and some of you guys like butter, some of you not. But
Who doesn't like butter?
Put just a little bit in there. Put the pork chocks in there. Get them a little lightly browned on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Dice you up some onions. Right. I like mushrooms in my little gravy. Then you make you some gravy, and then you cook the pork chops, and you make some smothered pork chops. Get you some nice little rice. You might get you a little salad so you feel better. Get things moving a little bit. Sit back and chill, and by the time you get done, if you head over there right now, you'll be eating good before Monday Night Football.
How about that?
This smothered pork chop type of day, or homemade chicken noodle soup.
Ooh, we had my son's birthday party yesterday. Happy birthday, Beckett, by the way.
Yeah,
he
happy
turned 2
birthday.
today.
2?
2 years old today.
He ain't hit the terrible twos yet.
There was a stretch of like 3 weeks in there that was a little rough.
Yeah.
But as of yesterday, he learned the magic word.
No.
So we're in for it for a while.
Yeah,
now,
you're in for it for a while.
But either way,
yeah.
Beckett, buddy, love you. Hope you're listening right now. If not, that's okay. I'll see you when I get home, buddy. But Starter Human Jewish text line here, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really refreshing that we have a special teams coach that shows such fire on the sidelines. The kids are really responding to it, and you can see it on the field. Matt Rule gave an interesting answer on that, but I'm going to pick your brain first. I think that two things can be true. Number one, Nebraska's players are playing better on special teams. At least they're making more of an impact more consistently, and you got to credit the players for that. But, all the time on Old School, we've had the discussions between you and DP on just how much credit goes to coaching versus players, and you got to credit Nebraska's players for playing better. But it's hard not to say that coaching doesn't make an impact on it, to just see how quickly Nebraska's special teams have turned around the splash plays that they made. Again, not perfect, but it just feels like a different unit. And, I don't know if it's a 50-50 split. You give more credit one way or the other. Even if you don't want to assign percentages of credit, clearly the players are playing better. And I think at least some of that comes from improved coaching.
Yeah, I mean, they put an emphasis on it, and I mean, they went out and got Coach Eckler, and he's made his made his hay at it. And Tennessee was really it was a pretty formidable special teams unit, and Eckler, from even when he played, he was like jumping, had face paint and all that stuff. That's what everybody sees, but I think that doesn't. I mean, it helps, but that's not that doesn't move players. I think the way he's passionate about it, his standard, demanding, all the stuff, encouraging, and all that stuff, or whatever you want to call it, goes into it, and he has a Trump type plan and a process, and then the way he's able to articulate it with him and the assistant coaches is why you see it. Is why you see it, and plus. You got the backup of the head coach and the defensive coordinator and the offensive coordinator that, you better, when you step into a special teams meetings, that's your number one priority, and you better play it right. And so that's all a byproduct. But, yeah, he's done a really good job.
Let's go ahead and hear from Matt Rule on Mike Eckler and the impact that he's made. About a 2-minute answer from the Nebraska head coach. Sit back, get comfy. Here's Matt Rule talking about the impact that Mike Eckler has made on the special teams unit.
I think you'd have to start with Mike. I think he's brought an energy to it, but I don't want to minimize it, because I think everyone he might get mad at me for saying that. I think everyone sees like the jumping around in the locker room and all stuff. That's not what it is. It's his teaching progressions are amazing. His attention to he truly, he uses on his interview, I had to tell him to stop, because he uses the Socratic method where he's consistently asking you questions and making you respond and think. And I was like, heck, I can't do this, bro. It's like an hour of this. Please do it, because it was me and Snow interviewing him. But I think it's great because you go to his meetings and everyone's dialed in and everyone's locked in. Here's how I knew it. It was like, I don't think it was Thursday or Friday. Sat was like, man, I can't wait for Jameer. They're going to come out and they're going to line up like this. We're going to check to this, and Jameer's going to stun the guy. I mean, that's like when your tight ends coach is saying this is what's going to happen in the game. It's because it's been taught so well. And then I think then the energy and the passion of it, he inspires belief, and he has your back if you do make a mistake. Like we told Jameer, I personally told Jameer, which is not the way I am. And I'm pretty proud of the fact right now that we're 15th in the country in penalties, because that's not the way it was the first 2 years. But I said, hey, if you run in the punter, you run the punter. I don't care. Go block the kick. Just wanted to free him up. So I think I think X teaching progression is elite. I don't want to minimize the impact of Brett Maher, because when you have specialists, and the specialist has somebody who's done it, that they can. The last thing, because I mean, for 10 years of my career, it was like me being like, "Come on, put it through the upright." Like, what do I know about? It's like me talking about some other golf swing, right? So you got Brett over there, and he's like, even like some of the things Brett taught me this year. Like early on, we weren't making like real long kicks, and Brett was like, "No, coach, we're being consistent here. Now we'll start to work back." He's just so patient with it. I really blame myself that I probably should have kicked some more kicks in games 2 and 3 before the fourth game, instead of going for it because I was trying to be respectful of the opponent, But I should have probably kicked a few more, but. So anyway, I think it's Eck. I think it's Brett Maher. I think the job that Nick and Josh do to help Eck, and I think our players are super bought into it. Yeah, they love the fact that we're making plays.
Really long answer there from Matt Rule, who's in a talkative mood today, but there's a lot there. Attention to detail in meetings, not berating players, but still holding them accountable. And that last part there, players being empowered and excited to go make plays on special teams, Jay. Doesn't seem like a big deal, but you've been, I'm sure, in good special teams rooms and bad special teams rooms. Are those always the separators?
They're a big part of them. I mean, I don't know what definition of berating a player is. I think you
yelling at them in their face, belittling them for.
Yeah,
mistake.
I mean, I think there's a way to kind of hold them accountable. I mean, you got to be intense, right? I mean, that's all there is to it. I mean, football is not a soft game at all. So the touchy-feely stuff ain't gonna work unless you're like crazy talented versus anybody else. Then you just need to get out of the way. So you're not even coaching. But the best ones are intense. They hold you accountable. I think any good coach knows the difference between coaching hard and belittling a player, because then all the coaching goes to the wayside. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because then it's personal. Belittling a player, or like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's just then you can't coach him,
right?
Because all he's thinking about is that. So you can say, "Hey, dude, you can say whatever, however you articulate it. When I need you to do A, B, C, and D, and you can say it in any type of tone that you want, and you have to change your tone per player." And you got to be consistent, and that's what he wants. And he's detailed about it, and he's explaining his concepts. He's explaining the detail. He's explaining what their concepts are, and then more importantly, he's showing you the why. So he's doing a decent job coaching. And then of course he brings the energy with it, and they're going to feed off it. He's an energetic guy and all that stuff, and that's great. That's just who he is, and it's either who you are, obviously, and then who you got to be as a coach. Either way, that's what's the most important.
More from Matt Rule. He was asked about the change in culture and if he's seeing players take more accountability for not just owning their mistakes, but also being accountable for team success. Here's Matt Rule on the importance of players owning the program and taking accountability.
Yeah, like my message after the game to the team on Monday was really three things. Number one is what we're doing as a team, as an offense, defense, special teams, is the path that we're on. You get on 80 West, no matter how much you tweet that you want to get to the airport in Omaha, you're never getting there, right? You got to be on the right road. Said, are we doing the right things? If you believe that you're doing the right things and we're doing the right things as a team, then double down on it, keep doing it better. But then number two is truth, right? Like sometimes you get benched. Sometimes coach comes to you and says, hey, you're not playing well enough. But only in truth can you develop. And so that to me is accountability. When I was livid about the block in the back call because I thought it was on Whacker. And I'm out there with the rest going like this. And then Carter walked over. He goes, no, that was me. I did it. And I looked at the iPad and I walked over to the festival. I said, hey, good call. I apologize. And, I think that's culturally, that goes all the way back though to GIF and Reimer and all those guys like year one. Like I said, hey guys, when we watch tape, here's how we watch tape. Like you sit there in front of the whole team, you say, I should have been here. I should have been that. I think I talked to you guys last week about one of the runs where Sierra says, I should be in the post here. I was confused. I covered the tight end and the ball hit for a touchdown. So I think when you have guys like Sierra, when you have guys like the guys we have, Javen and all those guys, then the younger players see that and that becomes cultural. So when people use the word culture, I'm always like, I don't know what that means other than it just kind of becomes cool to take accountability and do things that are hard and do things. So I'm proud of those things. Too bad we had that block in the back because Jacory was on his way to a crazy day. I think, what is it now? 200, we have 250 yards of punt returns and the other team has -1. So those things, you do them long enough will affect winning.
What do you make about that answer from Matt Rule, Jim?
I mean, I always say the best teams are player-led teams. It allows the coaches to do what they do best and coach, and you can, they got to take over and they got to, do, the actions. They got to make the sacrifices, and then also they got to deal with the accountability and standard of what it takes to get to where they say they want to go. And that everybody always wants to know, how do you do it? It just takes what it takes, man. It takes like 50 things, but you got to do it, and you got to make the biggest thing that you have to do when you're trying to be a winner is you have to sacrifice something to get a lot. You have to sacrifice a lot to get a little something. But then when the sum of the whole is everybody's giving up a lot to get a little something, then everybody gets a lot. That's hard for a lot of kids at this age to do. It's hard to wrap your mind around.
It's got to be hard to do sight unseen.
It's hard, yes. But that's where you gotta have leadership. You gotta have belief. That's where the coaches are consistent in their message and all that. So that's how you got to build the relationship. They got to trust you, and you got to trust them, and you got to put those actions with words. But then when all that stuff is done, right, where the coaches are laying out the blueprint, the players take that blueprint and make it theirs, then that's where the sacrifice comes. That's where you got to make it. And that's where you got to get through. You got to sacrifice time. You got to sacrifice time on your phone. You got to probably sacrifice time on the video game. Sacrifice time if you have a girlfriend. You got to sacrifice time with your family. You got to sacrifice time like your free time. You got to. Why you have to sacrifice all that is because every single thing that you do extra could lead to that play or that much more invested into special teams to where you're actually, a plus and not an even Steven or a negative as it had been in the past. That's what you have to do. And then the only way you're going to be able to hold yourself accountable to a higher standard than anybody else is by knowing that you got to keep pushing forward and doing it day in and day out, week in and week out.
One of the guys that Matt Rule talked about with the motor was Williams-Nwaneri. What did Matt Rule have to say about him? Here we go.
I think one of the biggest things for me with him was like to get rid of the expectations. Like, when it's like I've experienced it in the NFL. When you're a first round draft pick, you're always measuring yourself against like your draft status and your compensation. When you're a 5-star plus, you're like, just go be a football player. Just go be a freshman. Go be a sophomore. So to that end, in the spring, the only thing I said to him was, I have one word for you: motor. Like motor. Like we timed him, and he runs fast. But when I turn the tape on, I should see that speed. And now you're seeing it. And I think it's just from practice. Like no, the players probably don't want to hear it, but just if you practice well long enough, eventually it starts to translate, turnover, right? Like Deshaun Singleton had 2 interceptions in the game. Those are he's in his 5th or 6th year of college football. I don't really know what year. And that's his 3rd interception. Like Judy is a 5th-year senior. He had his first sack, I think, right? So it's like you just keep doing things and eventually something good will happen. So just trusting the path that you're on. Instead of all the freshmen and like, the freshmen are panicked and like their parents are panicked, like just do the good, right stuff long enough. And I think that's a great example. Williams is a great example. Like, hey man, don't worry about your ranking. Don't worry about anything. Just become a good player. And I think he's just taking leaps. We put him in a black shirt last week because he's just playing so much. And we're playing some different packages, like when they go big, we're playing some 4-3. When they go to 11 and we think it's a run, he's playing some 4-3 stuff. We're playing some 5-down stuff. So William will definitely deserve that.
Couple takeaways for me from that, Jay. First of all, with the Williams-Nwaneri piece, leave the ranking behind. You're not your high school ranking when you get to college. You got to put in the work to be the best player you can be in college. I'm not going to say, Williams-Nwaneri was distracted by that or anything, but for any young player, especially one that I assume got as much attention as he did in the recruiting process and as much as Nebraska played for him, getting him to leave the dollar signs behind and the star ranking behind, I'm sure that's a daily process that all sorts of athletes have to work through with it. And, so far through 5 games, he's been pretty worth the impact. You're really, I think, starting to see him come on more consistently for Nebraska. I think that's a transfer portal win for now for the Huskers.
Man, that's what you have to do with all these kids. Is that ideally you have people around you that de-star you, but you have to de-star them, and that's not to demean them. It's not to like berate them or minimize what they did in high school. But that you're not in high school no more, Toto or whatever. Okay?
Right.
It's big boy football. You're getting paid. Nobody cares about what you did in high school. Everybody was good in high school, matter of fact, because if you were garbage in high school, you wouldn't be here.
Right.
So no, why would I care? I don't care how many stars you had or how many followers you got. When you get inside those white lines, there is no saving you. And if your mind is not right, or if you're not like understanding that, and don't have that switch or whatever it is, or just kind of get over it, you kind of always are, everybody's sitting there waiting at the seat of their pants. The one thing I can say about Williams Nwaneri is, the coaches know him better than they see him all the time, right? They see him practice, they know the improvement and all this stuff. I'm gonna tell you one thing that I know is that I've only been to a few practices, but to see the way he looks now versus when he first got here, he's in way better shape. So, and it was never athletic ability and all that. Now, granted, when you're transferring all that, you expect him, but so what I mean is as much as they're talking about how he dedicated himself to, work it out in practice and, go and play it at a certain place at practice. I think before that, he dedicated himself in the weight room and got into the best shape he could in order to do what they were talking to him. And so now you're seeing, longer and bigger, examples of his potential. And I don't even think he scratched it yet. But, it's like everybody else that's, he's got to keep working at it. And he keeps working at it. You're going to have these conversations all the time.
It's that keep working at it piece I want to jump off on next, because Matt Rule talked about if you keep practicing the right way for long enough, good things will happen, right? The two guys that he brought up are Deshaun Singleton and Elijah Jeudy, a couple starters for Nebraska. Deshaun Singleton, good player. Elijah Jeudy, still improving. But this just kind of never quite sits right with me. I'm not going to say Matt Rule's wrong, right? The more you practice at a high level, do what your coaches tell you. If it's good coaching, yeah, you should get better. But like you said, Elijah Judy's in his 5th year. Deshaun Singleton's in his 6th. It's good that Nebraska has them. But when you think about the places that are the best in college football, right? How many 5th and 6th year players does Ohio State have in the back end? Does Alabama have in the back end? And again, I'm not trying to compare Nebraska to Alabama, but is it good that Nebraska has these guys around making plays? Yes. But would it not be better for the program if they could have these guys do this in year 2 and 3 and then be off to the NFL instead of sticking around? Like, I know in football you want to get old and stay old, but like you can't rely on 5th and 6th year players forever, because if you want to be that developmental factory to the NFL, maybe Deshaun Singleton gets there in the Omar Brown sort of role. Doubt Elijah Judy's on that trajectory right now outside of maybe a training camp invite. But if you want to be an NFL style program and put players in the NFL, it can't happen when these guys are in year 5 and year 6 in a program or in college. It's got to happen year 3, year 4.
Yeah, if they started as freshmen here,
even if they didn't play till they were sophomore, and you get
right. What I'm saying is if they were okay, so say Elijah Jeudy came in Matt Rule's first year in 2023, and then we're talking about this in 2028 or whatever it is. Then yeah, these guys are transfer portal guys, so they were once they got here, they're still freshmen.
Yeah.
Now they're longer in the tooth, but so yeah, what you're saying is right, but the timeline doesn't match because Matt Rule ain't even been here that long. Right. But so sure, you can't now if you're 5 years down the road and all you are is just like a bunch of older guys and your other guys aren't very good, then you're right. But then on the other hand, that's where I think we're skipping the middle part, and that's where Nebraska is at right now. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, Ty and Nash coming from the 3 and 9, but they needed some help or needed to keep playing.
And again, Ty was the 5th or 6th year guy as well.
So that's where you saw last year, right? And you saw him do it, right? But then you saw some younger guys start to kind of play some. And you had the Jamari Butler, who was obviously doing well, and MJ Sherman. So you had those kind of, I guess, stop gaps or middle relievers in baseball.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you want to get to the point where old school football or baseball, excuse me. Starter, Roger Clemens. And Rivera coming out of the bullpen. That was it. But we're not in order to get there, you have that go between. But then also you got young guys. You got Guthrie that's playing. You You got the
How did you think he played?
93. He was okay. He was good. I mean, look, he's in there. He ain't afraid to stick his face in there.
He's not.
He can tackle well for
a freshman.
He's gonna make mistakes, as you know, but he keeps playing.
Yeah, Petchak, like you said, 93.
Petchak.
Dawson Merritt was in there, second play of the game.
Dawson Merritt is a definitely a young dude. And then also on the other side of the ball, you're talking about true freshmen. You can throw Barney in there just because he was last year. Then you got Jones,
Mills.
You got Smith, you got Quinn Clark. You can throw Carter Nelson in there, but you're still kind of waiting for him to pop. And so you got those young guys. Now you got to think you're going to need a catastrophic or a huge jump for them next year. A huge jump for those guys, where they got to be the guys that were just the Sean Singletons and all those guys. So you think about Davis on across the defensive line and all those guys. So yeah, if you want to be that program like Ohio State doesn't have that because they're farther along in the process, way farther along the process than Nebraska. That's why you got Caleb Downs. He's gone after 2 years, and he's in the portal. You ain't going to Ohio State to play 4 years.
No.
Yeah, it's like old school Notre Dame back in the day. You ain't redshirting, so you got to get there, get it in, and get out of there.
And that's where, I want to be fair to these players who are playing some of the best football of their career at Nebraska. Big Bird says it's good to have them around to relay the experience of college football to build the younger guys so they can have that in year 3 instead of year 5 and 6. And Waterboy goes to your point, Jay. My argument to that is it's year 3 of Matt Rule. So technically his players are making leaps in their 3rd season. We know how the previous staffs have lacked in talent development. Again, I get it. I'm not trying to denigrate or demean. No. I just think eventually, even if it's within the realm of the rules, and Nebraska can continue to rely on 5th and 6th year guys to make plays and make an impact for them, more power to them if that's the way they want to go. But I think sooner than later, we're going to get closer to 5 years being the max, maybe with an injury redshirt in there as well. And it's going to be hard
for guys like that. I mean, I think
but it's going to be hard for Nebraska to put guys in the NFL in their 5th or 6th years. Because the NFL, it's about the production, what you do in college. It's also about your potential. Because if Nebraska's 5th and 6th year guys,
depends on the position, though.
It does. But if you're a 5th and 6th year guy in the NFL draft, you're maybe day 2, probably day 3, again, depending on position and circumstances.
Yeah.
And if you're not ready to contribute from day 1, like Bo Nix walking in from day 1 as the Broncos starter, getting him to the verge of the playoffs in year 1, that sort of thing, teams would rather take a flyer on a guy that's 21 or 22 instead of a guy that's 24 or 25.
Yeah, and it's a lot of it depends on what number one, supply and demand.
Sure.
That's number one, because
always
if the supply is low and you
demand
old as dirt and demand's high, you going real high. Okay,
Right.
you'll have that Weeding was it for Cleveland? Is it Weeding? The quarterback,
Brandon Weeding.
Brandon Weeding. Yeah. So he was 26.
Yeah.
Bo Nix is old, so the age thing doesn't really affect you. I think it's based on the position, based on your wear and tear and circumstances. The way that they take care of you now in college and the NFL, heck, they would rather these teams right now. The way the NFL has changed is where you need to understand. This is where these kids are in such. It's easy. I mean, if you got heart and toughness and love football, you can play like 14, 15 years like that.
If you have the bare minimum.
If you have that, I mean, you got to have athletic ability and all that. Now you got to have opportunity, but if you really just break it down, it's easier to last long, because now teams they're even drafting 1st round picks, not even worried about if they're going to get to a second contract. They're letting those guys go. So the age doesn't mean anything. So when you go in the league, if you come in a little bit older, you just got to play good, because they ain't trying to play you anyways.
Right.
So you got to get in and get out right now. So you better have to get the incentives, and you better hope that you're in good health. So yeah, you can't. I mean, obviously where Nebraska's going, they're going to want to go to more on schedule, but you got to go off schedule to get on schedule.
That's just the thing. Got to build it up and develop it first. More Old School after this on the Ticket.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, Husker fans, Max 10 is turning up the excitement this season. They're giving away a pair of Husker volleyball tickets, and every time you tan, You're entered to win. Experience the 2025 season tour featuring high-pressure tanning, rejuvenating red light therapy, and flawless spray tanning, all for just $20.25. Look good, feel amazing, and cheer on the Lady Huskers in style. Max Tan. Take it to the max.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Time for a new heating and cooling system? Get the options, brand, and efficiency that best fits your family and your home. Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Make your next event unforgettable with Grazing Gouda, your local artists and experts in charcuterie and grazed tables. From boardrooms to ballrooms, they turn gatherings into experiences with stunning spreads of artesian cheeses, cured meats, fresh fruits, and gourmet bites. Perfect for corporate luncheons, weddings, parties, or any celebration that deserves a wow moment. They handle the details. You take the compliments. Book your Graze table today at grazeandgouda.com. Graze and Gouda, because every event deserves to be savored.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back. It's Old School. Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you. This segment brought to you by the great folks at Heartland of Nebraska Windows. It's raining outside today. I hope your windows aren't leaking, but if they are, give Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call, 402-430-3852, or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. They are based out of Howland, Nebraska. They offer free estimates, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything while keeping their prices affordable. They're locally and family-owned with their own team of installers. Give Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today for more information. All right, Jay, let's take a quick look around the landscape of college football. Fascinating weekend.
Man.
Obviously, Penn State, UCLA has been discussed. Penn State, what you got going on in them? What the heck was
James.
Jimothy.
Yo, just imagine that flight home.
How many? Over under 150 and a half total words spoken.
Oh, I ain't saying nothing. I'm just looking outside, just counting the clouds or something, man. I mean,
you got clowned on.
I mean, you went out there and just got blitzed. Then on top of it, you ran off my boy Tom Allen, or Tom Allen wanted to leave to the point why would you leave? Because you paid Jim Knowles a whole bunch of money, but Tom Allen left to go to Clemson when you're on the cusp.
Mm-hmm.
And you just got lit up by baby Newhouse that looks like he's still in like the 10th grade.
It looks like sunshine.
Yeah. You got lit up.
His first day calling plays.
Ever. The dude didn't even know how to talk to the quarterback, he said. Because
so Nico's out there calling his own plays.
No, you got to put he said he's like, I was talking into the mic, but I wasn't talking to the quarterback or Nico because there's another button that you have to push when you're the guy that's talking to the green dot, which is the quarterback.
Yeah.
So he's like, I've always been a position coach, so I've never had to do it. I'm always talking coach to coach. And generally, he said he always had his thing up. So there's a video of it when he's talking. The thing's up here. He pushes it down, and he's trying to find So this dude was just PlayStationing it on you and lit you up like a Christmas tree. And the thing is, you talking about adjustments. There was none made. And if they were the wrong ones.
Did not work.
Yeah, it's pressure there in Happy Valley.
Could it be that the best team in college football resides in Coral Gables, Florida?
Hey, man. If you're asking Chuck Foreman and any Miami Hurricane fan or alumni, that is for sure. They're back for sure. They are physical. And those rivalry games gets a little tough because they were, had the game well in hand, and then Florida State got desperate. It was a good game. Florida State's a real deal team. Miami's just a little bit better.
In the SEC, Jay, Oklahoma and Texas getting set for Red River. How about this? Oklahoma's going to be in the top 5, and Texas is out of the rankings.
Yeah, and they should be.
They deserve to be.
Yeah, they everybody gave them the Arch Manning's first start, and they kept it close against Ohio State. Florida was just waiting to be, killed, and they beat Texas pretty bad. But if Texas ends up beating Oklahoma in a rivalry game with the Mateer out, then they'll probably be back in the top 25. They have that.
Well, Texas is at Oklahoma's top 5.
No,
so
if Texas wins, that's what I mean. Yeah. Beat even though Mateer's out, which shouldn't count for as much because he's gone. If Texas upsets Oklahoma, they'll be back in the top 25.
Yeah,
they always give them the benefit, but they're out of there though.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, all that money, all those Lamborghinis and the NIL money. Yeah, I don't know. The thing about Texas, they lost. I was telling them they lost a ton of talent.
Mm-hmm.
And there's obviously Sarkisian said, listen, we just got guys that are going to be playing on Sundays just waiting, which is true. They're going to have to find, and I I got faith in Sark. I think he's done a really good job. It's really commendable what he's been able to do
Mm-hmm.
outside of football. That's, I think, allowed him to be successful at Texas. They got to find what works best for Arch and really find out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of the throws, the footwork, which your two uncles are the most disciplined footwork and fundamentals, it just doesn't look like it's there. And so they need to fix that first, and then you see the uptick in production.
Alabama beats Vandy. Vandy kept it close, kept it interesting. Couple red zone turnovers come back to bite them. And Jay, that is the issue. If you're Diego Pavia, selling those wolf tickets all off season long, he didn't play terrible, but again, two crucial turnovers. Okay. And how about this? Just saw Chris Lowe tweet this out. I believe let me see if I can find it real quick. I think Kalen DeBoer is something like 17-3 against ranked teams. At Alabama. I might have bookmarked. I just saw it not that long ago. Kalen DeBoer, 17-3 as an FBS head coach against nationally ranked teams. He's 2-0 this season, and 4 of Alabama's next 5 games are against teams currently ranked in the AP poll, which is interesting to think about in light of the comments about people showing up late for meetings and the lack of discipline. It's a great record, again, as an FBS head coach against ranked teams. But man, Jay, that's why I think those losses to those unranked teams are even more concerning. If you're only going to show up for games against ranked teams, you're front runners, and that's a dangerous way. It's a
dangerous thing to do, and then also you want to look at like who was ranked, where they were, and what team you had. Obviously, when he was at Washington, they were beating a lot of ranked teams. You don't get to the national championship game, so that means the record could be skewed. But you can't take that away from him, that he's able to, coach, focus, and play call against some big teams. He's beat Georgia twice.
Mm-hmm.
That goes for something. I think the biggest thing that you see from him, even if you watch him, I think that pressure down, and it's great. Yeah, I think it's great for him. I mean, he's a very nice. First of all, he's a good dude. He's a really good coach. Probably, obviously, way more passive than Nick Saban. And it's commendable with that. But I think down there, that pressure and the reality of, you're letting some stuff slide and your back is against the wall and it's in you. Mm-hmm. It is not. I think you see him like he's out bumping. I'm calling some plays now. Okay, now you want it, and I'm gonna give it to you. And I think that's the best thing for him. I think the team is playing better because of that. I think they were extremely motivated for Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt was game, talked a lot of junk, got brought down to reality. But I think Alabama, they play Missouri this week, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. So it's turn the page. It's onward and upward. That's what you get when you play in the SEC, and that's what you get when you're at Bama.
I'll give you credit, too, for calling Virginia on the road at Louisville. I thought the Cards would find a way to pull through. You were on the Hoos. Good call.
I like the way Virginia – when I watched that Virginia game against Florida State, it was close, but it wasn't. They beat them up physically. So when you do that on both sides of the ball and you play with that type of energy, you pack that with you. You show it with you. In Louisville, they just disappointed me. When I think Louisville disappointed me is when they played Florida State. And was that the first year of
Braun?
Might have been. Yeah, it's first year, right? And remember Florida State's Travis, the quarterback, was out.
Oh, yeah.
And a couple other, they started to have guys, go to the pros or just not opt out.
Mm-hmm.
And they barely beat that Florida State team. Barely.
Yeah.
That is right there for me. That means the edge isn't there. And I just think that way they ended the season last year, too, they were right for the picking for a Virginia team to come in that's physical. And, they handled their business.
Other things to get to, I guess, really quick in the Big Ten. Michigan scores in all 4 quarters. They beat Wisconsin 24-10. Ohio State, no issues with Minnesota 42-3. Illinois, big second quarter, big third quarter. They beat Purdue 43-27. Not a huge resounding victory, but took care of business. There, Northwestern over Louisiana Monroe. How about this one, though, Jay? I'm sure we'll talk more about this throughout the week. Maryland up 20-0 at home. Let's Washington come roaring back. A field goal in the third and 3 unanswered touchdowns in the fourth. Washington comes back and wins it late on the road in College Park.
Man, maybe they woke up because of the time change, but Maryland was kicking their butt, man. And you know what that is? That's I call it clock watching. You see it all the time in basketball or whatever. Say like a team, and and obviously you love Duke. Say like I don't know, like a team that's coming in, like a Wake Forest now. Not back when they were really good, but like Wake Forest, somebody that's
Well, it happened to Duke 2 or 3 times against Carolina last year alone.
right. But so they come in. They're beating Duke in every. They're actively beating them. That means they're playing with better energy. They're shooting better. They're just as good as Duke. And so, but maybe on the come up, and you're like, oh, you're in the last
12 minutes,
8 minutes. That last was under 10 timeout.
Well, you 12 and you 8 in college.
Okay, yeah. So you're like, all right, got a 16-point lead. There's no way we can lose. You give up a 3. You give up an and 1. You only get a free throw. Then you start looking at the clock. The clock slows down. Duke starts hitting some threes, dunks on you. They turn up the Duke thing. They slap the floor. Next thing you know, you're in the locker room thinking how you lost that game.
The perfect example of that is the 2019 Duke-Louisville game. Duke's on the road at the KFC Yum Center. Louisville's at huge, 23 points or whatever. They were ranked in the top 15, I think, at that point, or top 20 at the very least. Possession by possession, with 12 minutes to go. Duke starts chipping away, win at 71-69.
Yeah.
All-time reaction game from the Louisville fans.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's where, and this is almost like Maryland, when they really had that good team that went to Ohio State and they figured this is the year.
Yeah.
And
missed the 2-point conversion.
It was close, but then Ohio State pulled away, and then Maryland, remember, I think the next week they lost to Northwestern.
Yeah, I think so.
And then they lost another game. And then then they end up coming back. It's Matt Rule's first year, and they beat us, right?
Yeah.
But then that loss led to 2 more losses. So that's why there's 2 ways that this Maryland team you're going to face. You're going to one that's going to be really, really motivated, and the team that they played, they're 4-0, or you're going to see a team that's right for the picking with a small home field advantage and crowd, and Nebraska beats the brakes off them.
That's the outcome we're polling for here in Lincoln.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We'll talk more about it throughout the week. I don't know how that'd make your family back home in Frederick feel, but at this point, who cares? Let's go get a Nebraska win. College Park. No offense to the Jay Foreman relatives out there in Frederick, Maryland. I'll issue a formal apology after we get back from break.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Mo's Moving is now Mo's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Hey, Husker fans, Max 10 is turning up the excitement this season. They're giving away a pair of Husker volleyball tickets, and every time you tan, you're entered to win. Experience the 2025 season tour featuring high-pressure tanning, rejuvenating red light therapy, and flawless spray tanning, all for just $20.25. Look good, feel amazing, and cheer on the Lady Huskers in style. Max Tan. Take it to the max.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
This is Rick Heyman with Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Sartor Heyman is celebrating 120 years, and you could win big. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for your chance to win a $120 gift certificate every week. That's right, we're giving away $120 every week as a thank you for being part of our story. Don't miss your chance to treat yourself. Follow Sartor Heyman Jewelers today. Celebrating 120 years. Sartor Heyman, when only the best will do.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Comfort food, but make it vegan. At Rutabagas, they're serving all your crave-worthy classics. Mac and cheese, loaded nachos, Philly cheesesteaks, all 100% plant-powered and 100% delicious. Catch them at their cozy spot at 70th and Vine, or find their food truck rolling through the streets of Lincoln. So whether you're vegan, veg curious, or just hungry for comfort food with a twist, Rutabagas has a plate waiting for you. Find them on Instagram for their food truck location and specials. Rutabagas, where comfort meets compassion.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wrapping up hour 2 of Old School, Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you. Final segment of the 4 o'clock hour, brought to you as always by Love Volleyball Nebraska. Not Love Volleyball Omaha any longer. It's Love Volleyball Nebraska, representing the whole state. To renew your season tickets or get them for the first time, become a Love Volleyball member and all that sort of fun stuff, you can go to lovb.com. Jay, a couple notes from baseball. First of all, Blue Jays putting it on the Yankees, 23-8 combined score in the first 2 games of that series. But the one that has my attention a little bit more is the Tigers-Mariners series. You think about, is Nebraska Courage, can they get over the hump? That's kind of been the Mariners. They, last night, had their first playoff win at home since 2001.
I know.
24 years between winning a postseason game at your home stadium. I can only imagine at least part of the weight off the backs of the Mariners fans. Now, it's not everything. Series is tied 1-1 in the best of 5. But man, what a relief, even just for a moment, last night had to be.
Oh, I mean, to get over the hump, I'm sure down there in the fish market, there's tons of fish.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's still open, but yeah, I mean, the Seattle Mariners were, when I used to watch a lot of baseball, I mean, obviously they had King Griffey Jr. and Jay Bruner, and that was Jay Bruner, right?
Jay Buhner and Edgar Martinez.
Eddie Martinez. They were fun to watch.
Mhm.
And
Randy Johnson back in the day.
Extremely talented, but never could get over the hump. And now they get in the playoffs, and that's, a big step for them. It'd be interesting to see how the rest of the series goes. And Detroit's kind of the same, too. It's kind of like there's baseball history there with Detroit, but not like the Yankees and all that stuff. And so you got two teams or two organizations that are fighting the same fight. And it was cool to see Seattle win and moving forward. And on the same night that the Yankees they are in some trouble.
I mean, they're one game away from elimination.
Yeah.
And they have not held a candle to Toronto.
Yeah. And Toronto's had good teams. You remember when they had Roger Clemens and all that, and Roberto Alomar Jr. and extremely, but just then the Yankees were the Yankees.
Right.
And I know as a Twins fan, with Tom Kelly and Joe Mauer and all those guys, they would win their division and go out there and get swept. So everybody hates the Yankees,
Right.
and nobody is sad that they're losing. But yeah, it was a great night for Seattle.
Brian H says, as a lifelong Mariners fan, this series is stressing me out. Nick and I were talking a little bit about this. Playoff baseball is masochism, like to the highest degree. Like you fight for 162 games, hang on every pitch just to get there. And then with every pitch, your emotions go up or down. I have not met someone that is relaxed or not on the edge of their seat watching postseason baseball that their team is involved in. It sucks. It is the best thing when it goes well. It's the worst thing in the world when it goes poorly. Jay Wet Blanket does want to throw out A-Rod as well with the Mariners.
Yeah.
When you think of A-Rod, what team do you think of him with?
I don't think I'm with the Mariners. I don't even think I know A-Rod went to the U. I don't think he's at the U either.
No. Tenuous ties at best. Questionable at best.
A-Rod is questionable. Everything, and he owns the Timberwolves.
He owns your Wolves, yeah.
I think of him. I don't know. I mean, I would say the Rangers because of the deal.
Mm-hmm. People forget just how big that deal was when he signed it with Texas.
Well, hey, Scott Boras broke off after that. It was a legendary deal that opened the floodgates.
Yeah.
So you should thank A-Rod for that. It's like everybody, these coaches need to thank Mel Tucker. There's some correlation there now.
Hey, now. Hey, hello.
I would probably say, the Rangers just because of the deal. I don't know. I mean, I guess Yankees just because of the, he kind of had to dust up with A-Rod, or not with A-Rod, with Jeter, but then he kind of, I thought he kind of turned it around. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's a great player without a home. Right?
See, I would love the text line to answer 402-464-5685 because I know in my head that the Mariners drafted him and he was a stud there. I know that he signed at the time the biggest contract in baseball history with the Rangers, but maybe it's just because I never really liked him and I never liked the Yankees. I associate my disdain for him and the Yankees together. So I always think of him as a Yankee first, even though I know that was team 3.
Yeah. I would say the Yankees. And plus, he was in a big market. Seemed like he was there and gone so fast with the Rangers.
Yeah.
Right? It was just, oh, he's there. Oh, no, he's there. He's moved on. So I would probably say the Yankees.
Dude had a 23-year baseball career. He was with Seattle for the first 7 years of it. Only with Texas for 3, 2001 to 2003, and then got traded after 2003. So spent the last 13 years with the Yankees.
It's crazy. It's crazy that he was there 13 years.
I know.
Remember when they thought he was bad luck when they couldn't win?
I know. Literally. Yeah, put up just about half of his career wins above replacement and just over half of his year. Of course, he sat out the 1 year with the suspension. So only 12.
And give him credit. When he first got there, I would probably say he wasn't a good teammate. I think he got better as a teammate. I think he tried harder when he was later in his career. And I think it helped his production too.
Oh, and then going on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, his reputation is not the same now as it was, 10 years ago.
Right.
Wildly different. So,
but Jose Canseco was right.
Jose was right.
The juice was right.
The juice
He
was correct.
Right. Everybody thought Jose was wrong. He been right.
You've been vindicated.
Yeah.
Proven correct.
Yeah, we got to get Jose going. I don't know him. I seen him one time.
Mm-hmm.
He's jacked.
Oh, talk about the juice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be cool to have him on there.
You got connections. We're open.
Yeah, we got to try to do that.
We'll go to break. More football hour 3 of the show.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Mo's Moving is now Mo's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, we figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Advanced Medical Imaging is hosting their 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk on October 11th at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Hear inspiring stories from survivors, enjoy local food truck vendors, a live DJ, and other family-friendly activities as we unite to bring awareness about breast cancer. Check-in begins at 8:30 a.m. with the walk starting at 9. Register your team today for Advanced Medical Imaging's 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk online at amimaging.com. Let's walk for those we've lost, for those still fighting, and for a future without breast cancer.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m.,
and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Join LES at 6 p.m. Thursday, October 9th at the LES Operations Center to learn about the utilities' proposed 2026 budget and electric rates and share your input at the annual public meeting. Learn more at les.com.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, 5 o'clock hour? Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We're Old School live here at 11th and O Street, 10th and 1040 O Street. If you want to pin the location, we are brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese Special Ingredients Butcher Shop. 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andremat / Cheney, and 168th and Maple up there in the O. Always be on the lookout for Fired Up Friday.
And Thursdays now too.
Yeah, Fired Up Thursdays and Friday. We got to make a name for it, but we got to get a Jay Foreman discount.
Foreman Depth Thursday.
Yeah, we got to get something. We'll get something.
Jake.
Yeah, Jake. Jake's got something, but they got they had the brat burger with the potato salad. I like that. I like that. So they got plenty of choices. Great butcher shop. It is the two favorite places for me. I shouldn't even be saying it because then that means people be able to find me or whatever. It is like Costco / Sam's Club and the Mercado over there, the butcher shop. Boy, when you go up in there, man, I'm telling you, it is a grill master or somebody that likes to grill. It's a master. It's heaven over there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like meat and I do eat pork. I'm gonna eat everything, anything and everything they got its own.
Coolio dropped Gangsta's Paradise. Jay Foreman's dropping Grill Master's Paradise.
That's right. And what was dropping today, we had Matt Rule had his press conference. So he's had some, obviously interesting, thoughts on the upcoming game and obviously where they're at. So we'll, what's the first one we're going to do?
Let's do the how do you match up against Maryland?
Yeah, that'd be good. I want to hear this.
Yeah, this would be about a minute and a half of Matt Rule. How do they match up against Maryland?
Good players. I mean, they got a dynamic young quarterback, 5-star recruit who's athletic, but who's a passer. When you have that combination of you're a passer first and you look to throw, but you're also athletic, it extends plays. They hit a lot of deep balls. Their wideouts 1, 4, and 5 can run. 5 can really run. So they're explosive. That it's the passing game for them that's really opened up, and they can run the football too. Don't get me wrong, but it's just there are some challenges there. We're pretty good pass defense, so it should be a good matchup. Then you flip it, they have a bunch of high effort rushers that are relentless, and so their pass rush is pretty elite, which is why they're so good on third down. And we just talked about our ability to create and build and defend a great pocket. So that'll be a key matchup there. And then special teams, we've blocked 3 kicks this year. Jameer Khan has, I think he has a block and a tipped. So that's 2 blocks for him, I guess. Every week I go into Eck, I'm like, hey, I want to block a punt. I want to block punts. We're doing a great job of returning them, but, trying to design ways to block punts. They do a great job special teams wise, but Eck will always find a way. And Jameer, when you have 2 block punts in your first 5 games at this level, was it 5 games, right? That's pretty impressive. And so we'll continue to try to find ways to get Jameer open. Ja'Cory's doing a good job returning. So, just continue to build off what we're doing special teams wise, which will be a key factor in a game like this.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think Maryland's one of the, I want to say surprise. Well, I guess I want to say surprise because I think Mike Locksley has done a really good job while he's been the head coach there. I mean, it's kind of like where Coach Rule was or Matt Rule is, where you kind of come in, you're building a program, right, and then you start to, and obviously he's been there a lot longer than Matt Rule, but I think when you look at the team last year, I think was a disappointment.
And Locksley admitted as much.
By his standards, by I guess Maryland standards, probably what has been reshaped and redone maybe once or twice, because I think he exceeded expectations 2 or 3 years ago.
Especially in the Big Ten East.
Yeah, and you get the letdown of you lose to Ohio State and you went on the run, then you're able to kind of back, then you got it going towards the end of the season, so everybody has that lasting memory. And when you look at it, when they, and I'm referencing 2023, they lose to Ohio State. Okay, they lose to Illinois by 3. They lose to Northwestern by 6. They get just annihilated against Penn State. And if you're from Maryland, everybody hates Penn State. From Maryland. You come and you beat Nebraska in a white knuckle game on a cold day. Turn around and lose by 3 to Michigan, eventual national champion, right? And you end up beating Rutgers, but you end up going to a bowl game again, and you kind of, scathe away, and then you win your bowl game against Auburn. So, okay, you turn around. So that's what you've kind of done. But last year was interesting because they were very talented, I felt like. Mike Locksley is always going to have to be able to scheme up and have wide receivers. You had Edwards, the quarterback that's now at Wisconsin. Hemby, who I liked 2 years ago when he came in 2023, was a baller, and Felton left, right? Yeah. But then you had Barham, who's the excellent, potentially first-round pick or probably first-round pick rusher from Michigan that we saw 2 weeks ago. He was at Maryland last year, linebacker. And then their Ole Miss's starting left tackle was a starting left tackle from Maryland last year, and they lost also a defensive starter as well. And he admitted, we lost it was NIL based, weren't able probably to pay, probably wasn't able to re-up during the season or whatever they needed to do. Some turmoil in there. And then you turn around the next year and you hand the keys to when you could potentially be on the hot seat to a freshman quarterback, and it's rinse and repeat. And then he does something that he was working towards, because I remember listening to him when he first started to emerge, I think in 2022 season, maybe 21, when they had a really good season for them. He's like, we're just not there big enough on the defensive line. And that's what he was trying to do, to kind of, be able to compete against Penn State and Ohio States and the Wisconsins at that time, Michigans and all that. And now he has a defensive line and a defense that leads the Big Ten in sacks, and they come in with 19 or 20 sacks. And 12 of them are from 3 of their defensive linemen. So that lets you know their scheme is tight. That lets you know that they have some players, and their strength could potentially be our kryptonite, and they do a lot of things. Their strength or our strength could be their kryptonite as far as being able to pass the ball as well.
Yeah, I think that this is a decent matchup for Nebraska just on the surface. Matt Rule doesn't usually give the game away a lot, but he alluded to it there in that quote. A passing game is the strength for them. You think that lines up in Nebraska's favor on the defensive side of the ball, except that Washington can absolutely make some plays with his feet. He's shown that ability. Yeah. The thing that really stands out to me about Maryland, though, Jay, is over Mike Locksley's tenure, September is always great for them. Yeah. They're usually in this position. October a little worse, and then sometimes it's by nature of the Big Ten East that they were playing in. But November's been wretched for Locksley at Maryland. His first year, 2019, they give him a little bit of slack, but Maryland ends up going 1-7 down the stretch in October and November. Okay, then we'll fast forward to 2021. Similar sort of story. They end up going 3-6 in October and November. Not great. 2022, they go 8-5. Look at this. They're a little bit better later in the year. They end up going, that'd be 4-4, right? So you pull even, and you end up going 7-5 in the regular season, and you win your bowl game. That's sort of been the trend with Maryland, is they come out like gangbusters early in the year, but they haven't been able to sustain that success into Big Ten conference play. Is that a recruiting issue? Is that a development issue? I mean, I'm sure every team gets hit with injuries, so that's part of it. When you see a team so good in the early going but consistently fade down the stretch, what does that tell you about the program?
Well, I think it gets extremely tougher especially in the Big Ten versus any other conference of the four, or when it was five or the other four when it was the Power Five, is because of the weather. Number one, and number two, late in the season, teams have got a beat on you, and it becomes harder to move the ball. Now, they've always been able to be very productive through the air. So then how do teams, counteract that? They run the ball, right? To keep that offense on the side. Maryland notoriously hasn't. Roman Hemby, I think, is a really good player, and was good for them, but he wasn't that grinded out late October, November running back. Now he's at Indiana. He's doing decent, right? But he's more of a slasher home run hitter. But when you think about it, that's where the difference was, and he was trying to build across the lines.
Yeah,
and so it's a little bit of circumstances. It's a style of play, but then also being in the Big Ten, and then also being at some of those periods of time in the East, and you got the three-headed monster over there. So
right.
You're going to play two of them a year. It's hard to do.
Well, you play all three of them back in the divisional era, and now you get probably 2 of the 3 of them.
Right. So then it's tough, and then you got to go other road games, and it's expanding. But right now he's doing a really good job of got him at 4-1, very competitive, probably licking their wounds right now, and he's got to rinse and repeat and get them reset, because that passing attack, Coach Rule was talking about, those guys can run, but they're very productive though.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Matt Rule is also talking about Nebraska's passing game and not pushing it down the field consistently against Michigan State. Here's Matt Rule. I know that's been a big topic of conversation really all year. What happens when Nebraska is unable to push the ball down the field in the pass game? Here's the head coach.
Yeah, I would say the wind was obviously a factor. I think you look at them, I think they threw for, there was at one point in the second half where both teams had under, I think, 85 yards. So, again, I'm not here to sit here and be like, we can't sit here and say, well, the wind was there, so we didn't throw. But I just think it was kind of one of those deals where it was like that. I think we called some of those, and we had some guys wide open, like the play I'm talking about, the Dane, and we just had a protection bust. And then just kind of, I think as games get like that, and you're just Dana was just trying to find rhythm. He's like, hey, let's get the ball in rhythm. Even on the play to Ja'Cory, if you go, I showed the team the 3-play sequence of, we throw a tunnel screen to Ja'Cory and he drops it. Ja'Cory Barney doesn't drop many balls, and it looks like it's going to be a decent play. We come out on a naked and Dane's open. We throw it to Dane and we kind of guys in Dylan's face and overthrown it. It's just it just feels so out of whack. Then we come out, we throw a double post rail route wheel with Emmett in the flat, 4x1. Lindemeyer has to block the end. The end gets outside, and he kicks him out. Dylan goes up inside. Corey figures it out. He throws the ball down the field on that play, and it's an explosive play. And so then all of a sudden we're going, right? So I just think it was one of those games where you're just trying to find rhythm, and, is there a place to probably push the ball over the top of their heads maybe more often? Yeah, if people are going to allow us to do that. We called on one of the sacks, the one Dylan got, we called a double move to Ja'Cory, and they rolled over the top of him. And so the pick is a go and a post over route. Just, he had to get backside of the end cut. So what we don't want to do is we want to push the ball down the field. We want to do all those things. But we don't want to, it's kind of hard. Like, hey, Matt, why don't we run the ball more? Why don't we throw the ball deep more? Just trying to score more points than the other team, So I just think Dana's elite at like, hey, what's working today? What are we going to do? And let's just get the ball and play as much as possible when the chances are there. Let's take some shots over their head. But to not acknowledge the wind, literally on defense, like when they went into the wind, we were literally playing back shoulder man, like just let them throw the ball over the top. And if you flip it, when they went this way, they kept overthrowing all the go balls because all they were doing in man was trying to throw the ball over our heads. I have to say this, and it's not related to your question, but Sierra Wright was absolutely phenomenal. He got targeted 5 times, and he just absolutely was a shutdown nickel corner in the game. But, it's kind of like Rutgers last year. It was just really, really a hard day for the passing game. But I think, we try to find some screens. So I don't know if that answers your question, and I respect the question. I think we're always trying to find that. I do think people come out and play us one of two ways, like, hey, let's play quarters and let's kind of stay deep and force them to run it and force them to get the ball in play, in which case you need to make some plays. Or they play us in man and pressure us, in which case it's hard to hold the ball long enough to push the ball down the field. And so we'll continue to evolve and see if we can get better.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I just remember when Penn State was going through this last year. And I don't know if it was a caller, but I know they asked James Franklin about throwing the deep, right? And he was like, all right, he's like, well, we're just gonna call 9 routes. Well, the next week they were going deep. I think the win's a factor when you do it. I think it takes a lot of experience on how to play in different types of winds, because as we talked about with the big punt return, or one of them with Ja'Cory Barney, the punter outkicked his coverage, and you can overthrow, like Coach Will said, guys a lot with the wind behind you, and then you can, if you don't really drive the ball, on timing routes, or or back shoulder it, or kind of 50-50 balls on, going into the wind, you could be in some trouble, or costly turnovers. The most important thing, he was saying that, they were trying to get in rhythm. You don't get big plays down the field without being in rhythm. The days of, like, in high school and Randy Moss and guys, I mean, Randy Moss could only do that, right? Run right past you and get you back in rhythm real quick. So I think you got to be patient. You got to make sure that you're not overextending yourself to appease the masses. Right. And so I think it's one of those things that, you just got to keep working at. And I'm sure that, the guys are chomping at the bit, but, quite frankly, Maryland has some receivers. So that they're probably
Michigan
going to,
State.
or no, I'm saying.
Going forward.
Yeah, going
Sorry,
forward.
Yep. Okay.
Maryland has some receivers, so they probably got more than capable defensive backs. If you want to look at Michigan State, I said it, coming out of the bye week, they made an emphasis to not get taken deep. Now, worked out circumstances with the win really helped them, and they were playing better, and they were playing pretty good defense. They're going to play hard. They're able to get at the quarterback a little bit. But I think it's a combination of missing opportunities, not being able to get in rhythm. You got out of rhythm that one drive, the 3 passes, when you had it on the 26th, I think you said, and then you were
punting from your 42.
You got really out of rhythm there, and then it was harder to get back in rhythm because they got it going. And so then as a coordinator, I'm sure you're like, okay, let's get some good feeling going. You missed the home run ball. We didn't even miss it. You're just one tackle away to start the first half of going house call. He talked about the drop and all that. Those are the things that you just got to do, like the simple plays, because those simple plays, you stack those 2 plays he mentioned back to back, then it opens up for the 3rd play.
It absolutely does. And that's where the hope is that Nebraska has stockpiled its, weapons chest with enough guys that someone can be in rhythm. Problem is, when Dylan Raiola is not playing his best game, he wasn't the worst we've ever seen him, but it wasn't great from him. When he's off, when he's out of rhythm, when he's frustrated and in his own head, it's hard for the other guys to get going, which is where run the dang ball guy comes out. In, I think, all of us, in Emmett Johnson, right? Had a pretty good game, 13 for 83, 3 touchdowns. His first touchdown I liked was that last one, Jay, that tied the game. I thought that was a really good cut from Emmett Johnson. To have that up the middle, have the patience, have the vision, cut it back right side, then outrun the guy. I was a big fan of that run from Emmett Johnson. But Matt Rule even mentioned, they went into the game assuming or hoping they'd get 70 to 75 plays as an offense. Yeah. Some of that comes off the board with the blocked punt back for a touchdown, but Nebraska only ends up with, 24 passing attempts from Dylan Raiola, and then officially 31 rushes, but you take out the 3 kneels, that's 24 rush attempts that you're credited with. So 52 plays.
Yeah,
you got to know your guys are in rhythm, because 52 plays isn't a lot of time to get them in rhythm.
No, and that's just part of you're playing against a team that's going to come in and compete, and you weren't at your highest output optimum wise, and that's part of this. This is just part of playing in the Big Ten. They're allowed to bite back. You're not going to be able to, if you think you're just going to roll up there every week and just be able to play your brand of football, you in like for a rude awakening. I hate it for you. Or if a fan, if you just think that you're just going to, teams are just going to roll over. Maryland's not going to roll over either. You're wanting all these deep passes. They got 9 interceptions. 9. That's essentially 2 a game.
Yeah.
All right. So they're rushing the passer. Okay, they must be doing a good enough job to stop the run because they have the ability to rush the passer, and they're intercepting the ball. You need to play to win the game.
Yeah.
Period. I don't care if you play 32 plays, 52, 72, or 92, whatever it takes. And you can worry about how it looks afterwards, but the best way to do it is after the win. So you got to be, like I said, no matter what you do, you're going to have, want things you want to get better at, but more importantly, you just got to get better at winning, and that's what Nebraska's been able to do so far.
Do you want to hear about the travel for Nebraska at all?
Yeah, because I'm jealous. They get to go. I ain't going. Let's hear it.
Let's do two from Matt Rule. First of all, the impact of his travel experience. Here's Matt Rule.
100%. I believe with all my heart that champions behave like champions before they're champions. They have a winning standard of performance. Bill Walsh, it's how you do everything. It's why for the first year that I'm here, everyone's like, what is wrong with him? Because I'm screaming about a box in the hallway and about this. But I think all, like the food that you guys have when you guys come into I think all of it really matters. And when everyone buys into that, I think it goes a long way. Like we're all just trying to win a championship. And so how do you win a championship? The championship effort and everything that we do. But when you travel, if there's no, it takes a toll on you physically, right? Like the hydration. So even like the little thing, Mitch is going to give them fireflies to put on their legs. So their blood's moving in their legs as they travel. Like it's just, all these things are real. And so just trying to maximize that.
The other quote on travel is, how has Nebraska minimized the impact of travel? Here's Matt Rule on what Nebraska is doing. Huskers will be out there on Thursday, by the way, not just on Friday. So they move their schedule up a day. And what else is Nebraska doing?
Well, I think first, it's one of the great things about being in Nebraska, we're centrally located. So we're not on these 6-hour flights, I think about some of these guys going West Coast to East Coast, how hard that is. Even in the NFL, you probably only do it once a year. You go from the East Coast to the West Coast or vice versa. So, we study everyone. We reach out to everyone after they do it. If they play, hey, what'd you do? It's great collegiality amongst the league because I think we all have to deal with it. But I think the number one thing is we don't complain about it. You know what I mean? That's the first thing. This is, anytime you go play a game, there's several opponents in the game, and one of them is just the conditions, the travel, all that stuff. So it's just part of it. We've had a year to prepare for it. We know what to expect. We were glad it's not a night game because we come back and play on Friday night. We were hoping for an 11 o'clock game, but 3 o'clock will take. And the only difference being, Mitch, that we're going to go out Thursday because, when you arrive there, you fly into BWI, you got to drive about an hour to Bethesda to get to the airport. And so, we know Washington didn't get in until about 1 o'clock in the morning Thursday night. So we're not a big Thursday operation. We like to go on Fridays and keep our routine. But this is one time and the only time this year that we'll go out on Thursday just because of the nature of being on the East Coast and traveling in those areas. So we'll take advantage of Friday as a day to, like I said, when I talk about the brotherhood of the team, just spend some time together and take the day to build, lock in and get focused for the game. But I think that's one change that we've made. But when we go to the West Coast, we don't really do that. But again, we aren't having the same travel that maybe, I think back to my first year here, right? We flew to Illinois, we flew to Minnesota, we flew to Colorado, and we flew, who else did we play in Wisconsin, right? They were all a small plane, 90-minute rides, right? Now it's a little different, but it's good. We're excited about it.
Yeah, man. It's I think he's been coaching for a long time, and then NFL experience. You're able to call different guys, and the coaches, I'm sure, throughout the Big Ten definitely lend helping hand. So whatever they need to do to win.
Yeah, I like the collegiality part, right? They're helping each other out and not giving away state secrets or anything. But the other part that stood out to me was the importance of divisions in the NFL. Matt Rule even said you do that once, maybe twice a year. Oh, right. Yeah. If you're the NFC South and you're playing, I don't know, what would be the NFC West then in that case, or the AFC East playing the NFC West, you'll have 2 road games, you'll have 2 home games, maybe twice a year, Buffalo to San Francisco and Buffalo to Seattle or some such. Yeah, you got to deal with it at some points, but the NFL has taken steps to minimize that travel by having divisions. Yeah. And I get it's hard in the Big Ten. They went away from divisions because they were in balance. There's never anything perfect. I get it. But if the Big Ten and its coaches are truly serious about the travel, they push for divisions again.
Yeah, you could do it, but the big games are most important, and they got so much money now that's not an excuse. They got a lot more support, nutrition, and all that, and they essentially can move the whole operation. Real quick. I remember going on from Buffalo to Seattle. We went out there 2 days. We ended up winning. Playing well, fresh, Actually, it felt like we were getting stronger as the game went on. And that's a hard trip from Buffalo. Greg Williams and them came in my 4th year. First year head coach. We go out to San Francisco, we get there the day before, and we got blitzed. You understand me? I think we lost 35. I don't know. All I remember is seeing Terrell Owens doing the Thriller dance on the Thursday night. That's right, because we played them Thursday night. We got in there Wednesday and got blitzed. So there's a difference. And now if we went out there on a Tuesday, would we have won?
Maybe.
Maybe not. We went. I felt like they were in warp speed and we were in slow motion.
But Tuesday's usually off day, right?
Not when you play on Thursday. You figure it out. So we got blitzed, went back home, and that just kind of rolled over after that. So they got and I do know flying in or going to College Park. Obviously, I know that area and all those areas very well. The travel is a lot different with the amount of people, and especially it's probably a little bit smarter going on a Thursday and a Friday because it probably adds another 30, 45 minutes. So, hopefully it leads to good play and they're able to jump on Maryland quick. So we'll take a quick break, come back. We're going to do a little NFL roundup, some NFL news, and you got a Monday night football game. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show. Sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance.
Advanced Medical Imaging is hosting their 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk on October 11th at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Hear inspiring stories from survivors, enjoy local food truck vendors, a live DJ, and other family-friendly activities as we unite to bring awareness about breast cancer. Check-in begins at 8:30 a.m. with the walk starting at 9. Register your team today for Advanced Medical Imaging's 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk online at amimaging.com. Let's walk for those we've lost, for those still fighting, and for a future without breast cancer.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in season? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at Schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. Quick segment here to get back on time. So the NFL news. My Buffalo Bills lost last night, man. Hey.
But your Houston Texans won.
Yeah. Well, they did. I don't know what's up in Baltimore, though. Somebody's going to get fired. It's probably the defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they're going to also flip the roster or purge the roster. You might have to.
You might have to, but isn't that gutsy? I mean, Lamar's in his prime.
No, yeah. I mean, I think more on defensively, you're going to get rid of some guys.
But you can't afford to waste any of these years with Lamar.
No, but that's why you have to do something.
Right, something drastic. And you better hope it works.
Well, here's what I think. I think when you just look at the guys that you potentially could move, it's either Marlon Humphrey or Kyle Hamilton. Both of them are out.
You hate to move Hamilton.
Right, so that means Marlon Humphrey.
But you get more for Hamilton because Humphrey's closer to the end than the beginning.
Yeah.
Ugh, man.
So that's why you got to get rid of him. Then you could probably maybe move Starks into there. And then, the Ravens have done a really good job of developing, drafting. And then what the Ravens need, to be honest with you, is Alexander to play like he should be playing.
Yeah.
Because you put him in the Humphrey's position, then you allow Humphrey to kind of play that kind of nickel, him and Hamilton kind of go back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
But their defenses, they need to probably get another stud defensive tackle. Nambi is out for I think maybe the year. Potentially. So that's the guy that, he's your all pro.
Who do you trade first? Kyle Hamilton or Roquan Smith?
It's hard to get rid of Roquan Smith.
It is, but you're also biased as a linebacker.
Because, he's the heartbeat of your team, man, of your defense.
But do you think Hamilton can be that?
No.
It's hard from the third level, to be fair.
Not from the third level, and that's not even his personality. He's a great player.
Fair.
I'd give Smith another year. Van Noy was a little bit hurt. I think they're just a little bit long in the tooth, but defensive line, they don't have that guy, and that's what Ravens are able to do so. And then I feel like, for whatever reason, I don't know if they're trying to I think they might have got caught up in this thing of, Stanley being hurt, but I think also this other thing, like, okay, what we need to do in order to win in the playoffs, we need to work on right now. It felt like you could beat some teams that you could by doing it. Their defense has been porous. They haven't played with the same effort or physicality.
Well, they've also been injured. Oh, heck.
But Ravens have always been an organization of having guys, either free agents, priority free agents that they've developed, They plug in and replace. They've done that for decades.
Since 97.
You got to think since Bart Scotts, those type of guys come through and then they go to other places and get paid and be great players. They just have not played well. It looks different offensively. I felt like they should have leaned on Derrick Henry early, and there's the main reason I think they should have. Teams coming out of training camp aren't ready physically for what the Ravens could have done, and they went more away. They went away from it. Look, the stat that I said last week, they run the least on first and second down, but they're the second most effective.
Yeah.
So you talk about getting more explosive plays. It's set up on first and second down. They're not doing it, but they're the most effective when they do it.
Well, the basketball analogy to that is if you're a 40% three-point shooter, you're not shooting enough threes.
Yeah.
You'd rather have a 36, 37% three-point shooter at, say, 10 attempts per game than a 40% shooter on 3 or 4 attempts per game, right? Yeah. And you have one of the hardest guys to tackle in league history. And like you said, in the first few weeks when you're still getting your rhythm, your groove back and tackling, you haven't been popped like that, outside of a preseason game in 9 months.
Yeah.
Use what advantage you have.
Yeah, and you think you're in a division, AFC North, that you're not all the way out of it. Do you really trust Cincinnati with Joe Burrow being out? Eventually they're going to die off. Cleveland is Cleveland. So you're behind. You're in a 3-game losing streak. Pittsburgh is not dominant, but they're 3-1. So you got to figure they'll be able to. Pittsburgh is going to be hard to knock off, and so you got to catch up and make up some ground right now. And they're probably the biggest surprise. I mean, obviously, I think New England beating Buffalo last night with Vrabel. I'm not surprised because I think New England's looked a lot better than forecasted. Obviously, the Colts are doing well. We'll see if Jacksonville's for real tonight. If they hang with Kansas City, Indy could be in trouble. If they're the same old same, Indy could easily win the division.
That's where I was going to go with my take as well. Feels like a pivotal game for Jacksonville. If they beat Kansas City, them and Indy have the same record at 3-1.
Yeah.
Now, do you trust either franchise? I don't. Indy's got to prove it. Jacksonville's got to stop beating Jacksonville. Indy's look dominant. Jacksonville's kind of squeaked by. And yes, they both have light schedules by virtue of, well, the Colts not as much, right? Finished second in the division last year at 8-9. But man, it feels like a huge moment for Jacksonville trying to step forward.
Yeah.
I still like Trevor Lawrence. I've got a lot of grief.
I don't love him though.
Right. I mean, he's got a lot to prove. He's also lost the most expected points added to drops of any quarterback since he entered the league.
Yeah.
Right. And some of that's on him, throw a better ball. Some of it's on his receiver. Some of it's on Jacksonville being Jacksonville. I still don't fully trust Kansas City. Xavier Worthy, questionable with the injuries he just got added yesterday. Kansas City's still trying to find itself. And I do wonder too, Jay, is this kind of a trap game, right? Monday night in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
got
that's what I was
Detroit
about to say.
coming up next as well. Feels like a sneaky Jag spot here.
And the Jags have, they're obviously better this year, and they, it's not a roster thing. I think it's more or less just a leadership thing. And the new coach Cohen is, he's got a little swag to him.
He's no Signetti, but
no, but he's got the offensive play caller and a little quirky too. But I don't know. I like Trevor Lawrence. I never thought, I don't look at him as like a number one, but I think he's probably been better than everybody give him credit for. And I think the injuries have, really stymied his, long-term progress. But it's a big game for them. Kansas City's defense is for real. Jacksonville's offensive line is better. I still think Kansas City wins, but I think it's going to be a closer game. Real quick before we go to break, I want to ask you this. Who's more of a surprise at 4-1, Indy or San Fran?
San Fran.
That's what I was
going to say. I think due to the injuries, right? If you look at the Colts schedule, they open up with Miami, bad. The win over Denver was surprising.
Yeah.
But Tennessee, bad. Rams, good. Raiders, bad. I mean, you're thinking 3-2 is on the table if Indy has a pull. So 4-1 isn't that far out of the realm of possibility. Man, all the injuries that San Francisco had, offensively, primarily, a little bit on defense in that division. That's been the toughest schedule for them, but it's certainly been a little more difficult than Indianapolis's has been on a week in, week out basis. I'm floored that San Francisco is alive and kicking in any way, shape, or form. Right now.
The two starting offensive interior or one of their interior offensive linemen is on injured reserve. Two of their starting receivers are out. Brock Purdy's out. Obviously Bosa's out, you know what I mean? And then you lost Greenlaw. And so but they've also done a really good job of drafting and developing.
Yeah.
And you got, Marquise Siegel from Omaha, by the way, of Kansas State. He's starting and he had some big plays. But the fact that they're 4-1 with their newly paid quarterback, and then Christian McCaffrey was kind of brought along slow, and Brandon Ayuk is out. So their top 3 receivers are gone.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still, and George Kittle.
Yeah.
So their whole lifeline besides Christian McCaffrey is gone. But they've been making plays though. And they still have that, winning pedigree.
Arizona does not have that same winning pedigree. I thought they were going to be 4-1 right now.
Yeah.
They've lost 3 games that they have let slip, including this last one. Like, dudes keep dropping the football before the end zone. You get come back on by the Titans. Now, Cam Ward's a baller. Don't get me wrong. I think Cam Ward's going to be a problem for a while if they get the infrastructure around him. But what a massive missed opportunity for the Cardinals to sneak up into that wild card conversation.
Well, 3 in a row. You lost.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, when you lose a game in the NFL, it's like the worst thing. To lose 3 in a row and then to lose the way that they've lost. Obviously, this last one is going to get a lot more attention because of the lead you had, how you lost, dropping the ball before you go in the end zone. It happened before, during the season.
Mm-hmm.
So now Gannon is under fire because of lack of discipline.
Yeah.
When you have professional athletes, highly paid professional athletes losing or doing that and playing losing football. Now you go on the road to Indy. And you just lost 3 in a row to a team that's just as talented as you, playing, have the winning feeling, and you're on the road at 12 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
That's the time change.
Back 40 burgers from Indy? Huh?
Is it right for the pick?
We calling it?
Right for the pick. I don't know if it's 40. I think it's going to be low 30s.
That's just one extra possession.
I think it's low 30s.
I just need one more.
Because here's the problem, is Arizona offensively has not been explosive.
No.
So your last year's success or whatever, your last year's run where you became the it team this year or thought of the it team because of that young defense. You got to think last year they beat the brakes off San Francisco. They lost 36-30 against Carolina. They won 30-17 against New England. So they were able to, they went and lost by 1 to Minnesota, and they had, 4-game winning streak in the middle of the year. They beat the Chargers and the Dolphins and the Jets and Chicago four games in a row, but they looked a lot better. And now they're fighting an uphill battle in probably the second most competitive division in the NFL.
Yeah.
You can't give away games.
Can't give away a game. Let alone
games. And you can't lose like that. It's like Chicago with the Stevenson against the Commanders. They never caught back track. Coach lost his job. Players lose security within the team. So we'll see what they do, though. But we're going to take a quick break, come back. We'll talk a little bit more in depth, or better yet, give our pick with the Kansas City Chiefs and Jacksonville Jaguars on Monday night. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, we'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Chorizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Chorizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at Chorizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln. Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Are you ready to transform your body and your life in just 10 weeks? At Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, our kickboxing challenge combines heart-pumping cardio, strength training, and proven nutrition coaching to deliver real results. Lose fat, gain strength, and feel more confident than ever. Spots are limited. Don't wait. Join the next Farrell's 10-week challenge starting October 11th and take the first swing towards a healthier, stronger you. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, results, not excuses. Join today, fxblincoln.com. That's fxblincoln.com.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, quick segment here. Monday Night Football, Kansas City Chiefs at Jacksonville. I think part of one of the things when you go to Jacksonville, especially playing on Monday nights, is like, dang, I've been in this hellhole for like 2 days. And but you know what? Jacksonville, they do. They'll get fan support tonight. I think it'll be interesting to see. It's Monday night. Obviously, Mahomes, Kelsey, and everybody else on Kansas City. They're not the defending Super Bowl champs, but Super Bowl franchise. It'll be interesting to see how Jacksonville plays offensively with that roster. Because you got ETN, he's playing for, to get paid. You got Bigsby down there who's kind of taking over. And then you got plethora of receivers, right? But everybody's going to see Travis Hunter nationally. And I think it's going to eventually Jacksonville's going to have to decide whether you want him to be a DB or receiver.
Mm-hmm.
They very early put him at receiver. So that lets me know two things. He's done some great things at receiver. It's a little bit easier to make that transition. I don't know why, but I'll let you know nobody else on their receiver core is very good.
Well, Brian Thomas Jr.
But they don't have anybody else.
They got a rookie and crickets.
Yeah, and so they either feel very comfortable with the DBs and the veterans they have there, and even in the nickel to make that the secondary place where he's at. But it's going to be interesting to see how they use him on Monday night
against Spags.
Against Spags. Against I mean, Kansas City, to be honest with you, with Patrick Mahomes, they're more of like a defensive team now.
Mm-hmm. But do you trust Jacksonville enough to pick them to win the game
Against Kansas City?
tonight?
Nope. Nope. I know there's 15 ways Jacksonville can win.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that with Trevor Lawrence and if the weapons are playing, they're tough to handle. I like their defense. Lloyd is one of my favorite linebackers out there.
Hines Allen's still there, playing pretty well.
You got Allen, and then you got Walker that's done a really good job. Who, when he was drafted, kind of wonder how good he'd be because he came from Georgia, only had like 4 sacks.
Yeah,
I mean he's the real deal. They got talent, but they still
it's Jacksonville.
But it's still Jacksonville.
There's an article in The Athletic today talking about same old Jets. Same thing applies to same old Jags. It's Jacksonville until proven otherwise.
Look, Aaron Glenn was a pickoff master, Pro Bowler, corner, and the Jets through 5 games don't have 1 takeaway.
Looking at you, Sauce Gardner. Looking at you, Quinnen Williams.
With that defense,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not a fun place to be right now, especially with AG. So, anyways, appreciate you listening on Monday. Huskers win. Hopefully they get packed and ready to win another game. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. We'll holler at you tomorrow.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done